All right. What's good? What's good? What's good? Yes, sir. Yes, 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 actually. Yes, sir. I can hear you. All right. So I can hear you. So you guys can hear me. Let's chop it up. So I thought I had went live a second ago and then saw that I hadn't gone live. So I got to do the beginning again. This is going to this morning and probably for the next 2 weeks. It is going to be, this is just going to be Fannon live, not OG Boxing Talk. We'll be back, OG Boxing Talk. I got some changes I got to make to the show. So I'm going to be working on that over the next this week. Hopefully we'll be back next week. But until then, I'm still just going to do the Fannon live. So what's good? Adrian Vet, what's going on? Watcher, salute. Hey, I got your email, Watcher. I got your email. I was thinking about how to respond to it. So just understand that that's why I didn't respond. It's not that I don't know that you sent me the email. I just had to think about something. I had to think about it because I didn't want to just give you, just a off-cuff answer. But for the most part, though, Watcher, what I'll ask you for is free. I ain't trying to charge you any money, but I can definitely help you. I can definitely help you. But super chats are appreciated. So if you want to support the channel or something like that, that would be great. Other than that, and that's completely up to you. I'll help you with no problem. Join the Patreon. If you want to join the Patreon, that would work too. But yeah, that type of stuff is cool. I'll just help you get on your. I'll help you organize yourself so that you can get that stuff done yourself. And because yeah, that's where everything's going. I mean, pretty much everybody's going to have to learn what you're talking about. Damon Wester in the building. What's good? Chi-Town's finest. Ronald Jones. Snacks B. What's good? Land of the 216. Brothers UK. The Architect. Kane. I don't know how to say that, man. It looks like it's where'd it go? Ingwanta. What's up? But what's up to you, Kane? What's going on, Grace Terrell? Kevin Dunbar in the building. What's going on, man? Texas Bubba 6. Clarence McLean. What's going on? St. Cruz and Bumpy Thompson. Reggie the Tree. What's good? Salute. Hey, man, y'all hit that like button, man. We got 81 people in the building. Hit the likes, man. Ken. Just Ken. Ken, that's what's up. What's good, Ken? Outlaw Jr. in the building. What's going on, man? Realonomics 101. What's going on, man? Adewale M in the building. What's good? So we're gonna have. Oh, also, as we move in, I might for today put the link in the chat. So, because I know that this is a shift in format, might give y'all an opportunity to jump on the chat real quick. If I don't want to bite. I don't want debates. I ain't interested in that. I ain't interested in debates. You jump up on here trying to debate me, dog. More than likely, you're going to get treated unkindly. Yeah, I'm just telling you. It's going to be treated unkindly, and the conversation is going to be extraordinarily short. But as we go, we're going to do a little bit of that today in lieu of having the excellent panel. But make sure, though, that you subscribe to KQKC Boxing. Make sure that you subscribe to Drew Titan. Make sure you subscribe to Cali Enigma. Make sure you subscribe to Retro Boxing Talk and Documentaries. Make sure you subscribe to all those guys. Clarence McLean, did I watch the fights last night? Yes, I did. Watched every single solitary one of them. Very good night of fights. Very good night of fights. I enjoyed them all, except for the Danny Dubois card. That shit had me nodding. Cannot lie. I was out there like Pookie. Pookie while he's coming down. But starting there, we can start. We got 100 people in the building. We can start the conversation. Starting with that fight, Danny Dubois. Danny Dubois is a good fighter, man. I like Danny Dubois, but that fight really, to me, didn't show me much. Because, I mean, other than he's got some very hard body shots, man, He did all that work with body shots. So that was wild to see that he had that type of Bug got an email last night after the fight from Bob saying, pick one. Yeah, definitely. It was definitely a mismatch. But I liked the power that he had, man. I liked the power that he had. Because the guy he was fighting just couldn't handle it. Yeah, he just couldn't handle the shots to the body, man. So maybe he is a big time soft touch. But he did what he's supposed to do, man. He did what he's supposed to do. So I like that. I like Danny Dubois. He was not playing. Brian Turner said Danny wanted to get some work in, but dude was scared. Yeah. Dude was sorry. But hey, it is what it is, man. He went out there and did his business. I just can't say that it really tells me anything about Danny Dubois. What's going on? That dude in the building, man. Hit the like button, man. That dude, hit the like button, dude. On the way in. What's good? That dude. Hit the like button, that dude. And salute to you. Yeah, so, yeah, he is bum bash, but that's what he's supposed to do. I'm okay with it. Everything considered, I'm okay. I'm okay with it. So that fight was good. Adewale M said Joyce will be a very tough fight for Dubois. I don't know, man. We'll see. It'll be a tougher fight than that guy was for sure. But I don't really know how. I don't really know what's going on. Marcus the Villain in the building. Marcus the Villain, man, hit the like button on the way in. What's good with you, man? Brian Turner said, pause. Yeah, yes, sir. Pause. If I said some pause-worthy shit, pause. If I said something pause-worthy, pause it up. Harold Jones said, good morning, kings and queens of the mighty LDBC. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Harold Jones. Oh, by the way, again, I got to tell people because I'm waiting until about 200 people get in the building. This is going to be Fannon live this morning, so just ask me questions. If when we get to a certain amount of people, I'll probably put a link in the chat in case there's some people that want to make a point over the and ask me a question that way. I ain't big into debates, but yeah, so that ain't happening. However, we might do a little bit of that. Oh, Fahim Sator, the panel, no panel this morning. No panel this morning because I got to redo some stuff. I got to redo some stuff with the show because there's some people that really couldn't make it on a regular basis or couldn't make it on a timely basis, and the show is just kind of inconsistent. So I just got to make a couple. I got to make a couple changes, and we'll be back with OG Boxing Talk probably this Sunday. But yeah, just got to do some stuff so that the show is more consistent. That, like when the show starts, that the whole panel is there, so we can have a show and try to get it, get it on and off at the right time. So yeah, so you just got to fix a couple things about the show, and then we'll be back on. Hopefully next week. If not next week, the week after that, because boxing's coming back, and the purpose of OG Boxing Talk is that, we originally started talking about the fights that were taking place. So now that they're coming back up, I want to make sure that we got everything really set. But make sure you guys subscribe to Cali Enigma, KQKC Boxing, my man Drew Tight, my man Curtis Anderson, Blood Boxing, Retro Boxing and Documentaries, and my man who I haven't seen forever and a day, but I still got much respect for my guy, Trap House Boxing in the building. What's good? But I thought Mikey saw something. Oh yeah, Mikey saw an ass whooping. He saw what I saw. Jack of all trades in that super chat, man. What's good? Hold on, man. I'm slipping. Not quite where I need to be. Hold on one second. All right. So, where to go? Sorry. My man, Jack of all trades in that super chat. Thank you so much for the support, man. All right. Hey, man, we got 142 people, only 89 likes. Let's get the likes up. Thanks for the news, brother. Hey, man, Jack of all trades, thank you for your support, man. That's really appreciated. So, yeah, man. Now, what was the other fight? What was the next fight you want to talk about? Did I enjoy the Lara fight? No, not particularly. Not particularly. Not any more than I would say. It was just, it was the Arizlandi Lara fight. What can I say? It's like he's a very, very good fighter, but, he did sit down more, Bernard, in this fight than he had in he did sit down more in this than he had in other ones. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. Fannon, how did you feel about the junior middleweight division after seeing Lara fight last night? I feel the same way. It's a very good division. That guy was not a bad fighter either. That guy was not a bad fighter. I mean, he's very defensively responsible. He didn't have very much offensive talent, but he's very durable. He was very durable, and he had a good guard at least. Which really, prevented Lara from picking him off like Lara probably wanted to pick him off. But, it's good. It's the deep. It's very, very deep. 154 pounds is very, very deep. And 160 is very, very thin, which is why I'm like, dude, we don't really need all these weight classes. Like, truth be told, all those dudes at 154 could be fighting at 160 if we didn't have all these weight classes. You know what I mean? Kind of like all these weight classes really do make it seem like there's fewer good fighters. They could be fighting each other. That's what I think anytime I'm really looking at, like, at the 154. But he's a very good fighter, man. Arizlandi Lara. Interesting. I'm going to wonder if people are going to give him his credit for the Hall of Fame. It was, the WBA super 154 pound champion for a long time. But, guys like that are going to get that type of benefit of the doubt. But I'm very happy for Arizlandi Lara, in that Arizlandi Lara has always had the ability to get fights, which is good. You know what I mean? And it's unusual for those Cubans, because like many of the Cubans, like, go through the majority of their career, really do suffer through inactivity. Well, the black Cubans do. At least I can say that. I mean, maybe this guy Rosie Ramirez isn't going to face that problem. I can't speak on that. But the Cubans, like, the Luis Ortiz, Guillermo Rigondeaux, and guys like that, it's really suffer from like that slick southpaw avoiding thing. So, but Lara is the truth. I like Lara. I'm really glad that Lara signed with the PBC. And you see that's what those guys, that's what these guys are starting to get with the PBC. Like, those Cubans are getting regular fights over there. So it's hard for me to believe that, like, the reason that these guys give for not fighting those Cubans is really as accurate or completely truthful. Because why can the PBC give these guys a bunch of fights? Guillermo Rigondeaux has been more active since he's signed with the PBC than he had been in years. Luis Ortiz is active. Like, I'm waiting to find out who Luis Ortiz is going to fight next. I'm hoping it's going to be on Fox. But, Luis Ortiz should be getting a fight name pretty soon. So, and he's actually, man, that's good. That's good with the PBC and those Cubans. Fannon, the video made about White's fans begging for mercy was a great one. Dog, they ridiculous, man. Yeah, we can get on Dillian for a little while, man. We can definitely get on Dillian. That's ridiculous, you guys. That's absolutely ridiculous. If people are asking for mercy on Dillian White. on Twitter, I put something out on Twitter about that. Somebody actually, I forwarded a tweet that somebody did with a compilation of Dillian White talking smack about other boxers, right? So it's like, listen to what he says. How could you possibly have you can't have pity on Dillian White, because Dillian White wouldn't have pity on Dillian White. You know what I mean? Why would you do something for Dillian White that Dillian White wouldn't do for Dillian White? If you had like a doppelganger for Dillian White, like, you know, or no, just copy Dillian White. If the exact same thing happened to somebody and Dillian White was commenting on it, man, Dillian White would call him all kind of garbage and trash, exactly like he did when he did it when people beat 40-year-olds, let alone get knocked out by a 40-year-old. You know what I mean? Dillian White would be going in on Dillian White. Can anybody doubt that? Does anybody doubt that Dillian White would be going in on Dillian White for Dillian White getting knocked out by Alexander Povetkin like that? Steve Lamont Hawkins said, D White equals maximum violence. Yes, sir. Oh, that was maximum violence. All right. He got hit with some maximum violence. Adrian Vint. Off topic for now. What do you think of the Cuban heavyweight Teofilo Stevenson? Well, you know, I think that he was an excellent amateur fighter, winning multiple gold medals. What did he win? Like two or three gold medals, 2 or 3 Olympic gold medals, but was probably, you know, a top heavyweight in the 1970s. I think he was in the mid 1970s to the early 1980s. You know, it's a shame that he couldn't fight professionally. Just like it's a shame that just Cuban fighters, period, can't fight everybody else, because Cuba has a lot of really good fighters there. And they would be even better if they could fight in the pros and they weren't specifically, you know, focused on the amateurs. Because the fact that they're in that the Cuban system is specifically for the Olympics and world competition and those, you know, 3-round fights under those rules, they're trained in that regard. So they have an excellent amateur program. But I suspect that if they were trained with the same people were trained with the mentality that you're going to go into the professional ranks and fight 12 rounds, right, where the power of the shots are what matter, at least if you're black, the power of the shots matter. If you're not black, then the power of the shots, you know, may or may not. You know what I mean? Felix Savon, I mean, same thing. Multiple Olympic gold medalist. I haven't seen a lot of Felix Savon fight, actually. So I couldn't tell you about his style or anything like that. But, you know, they're great fighters, clearly. You know, very great fighters. And also tells you something that, you know, Vasily Lomachenko ain't the only person to win 2 Olympic gold medals. But I'll tell you this, I doubt very much that Felix Savon, if he was able to go turn professional, they would have got a world title shot in his second fight. If Teofilo Stevenson had moved over to defected to the United States, I doubt very much that he would have got a championship shot in his second fight. Doubt that very much. You tell me. Do you think he would have got that opportunity? So, oh yeah, Stevenson fought from 66 to 1986. Thank you very much. Yeah, but I remember most of the conversations. That makes sense, because I was like, most of the conversations that took place with him and Ali was in the 1970s. But that's after Ali came back and all that. So Felix. Oh, Savon won 3. Thank you. I thought they won 2, but 3. Yeah, Stevenson made sense with 3. I didn't know Savon won 3 too. What's going on? Levi Anderson said we up early, y'all. Say my man, time to Andy up in the super chat. Much love in that super chat. Says salute and good morning to Fannon and the chat. Povetkin's uppercut hit Dillian White so hard that Dillian White's brain had an out of booty experience. So you're trying to tell me he had his head up somebody's ass time to ante up? You telling me because in order for Dillian White's brain had an out of booty experience, his head had to be up somebody's booty. Man, why you talk about Dillian like that, man? Ali was the greatest. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Eclectic agitator in the building. Much love for showing up. Eclectic agitator. I was thinking about time to ante up because I got to make sure I get my man for a super chat. Yes, sir. We up real early this morning talking this boxing. We got 200 people in the building. Yes, we do. So we can get the show going, but we got to get the show up to 200 likes before we can get it really, really rolling. Okay? We got 200 people in the building. Let's get the likes up to 200. Then we will start the conversation about my man, Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez. Hold on 1 second. All righty. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Oh, I got that. What up? Atlanta up in here. Atlanta in here. What's up, General? What's good with you, man? I'm not the General. That would be 78. This is your boy, Fannon. What's good, Michael Davis? How you feeling, man? You're here from the UK. That's what's up. All right, so let's get to 200 likes. We'll do a little participation test just to make sure that you're here and you're focused and you're engaged in the conversation. Either hit the like or the don't like, okay? So we can get on with the conversation because that's fair. We see how people are, y'all. Y'all like to be real stingy with like buttons and dislike buttons. So that's cool with me, but y'all are holding up the conversation. Let's go ahead and hit that like. Let's go hit that like button. And then we'll get going. I ain't gonna hold it up forever. We do got to roll on. I thought about that, but Crawford can't get credit because Postal still lost. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. That'll be come on. Yeah, your boy Dan Rayfield said that on Twitter. Your boy Dan Rayfield said that on Twitter. What's going on, JC? My man, Eclectic Agitator said, here for edutainment, the truth and facts, good logic and understanding. Thank you, sir. I try my best, man. All right, so where we at these likes? We got 200 and we only got 161. God dog, man. Y'all are cheesy. Y'all are hard, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll move on, dog. I can't hold the show hostage. I can't hold the show hostage for likes. All right, what's good? KQKC in the building. What's going on, man? Adewale M said people are complaining about Andre Ward's commentary last night. Okay, so we'll go there with that. Let's start with Andre Ward's commentary last night. Bumpy Top said Fannon is the name. Making trolls look like fools is the game. Yeah, I like to do that. That's an enjoyable experience. Yeah, dude, what's going on, Jameson King? Said Fannon Ministry. Yes, sir. We up here Sunday morning. That's another thing. I gotta apologize to folk that really don't like rough language on Sunday mornings. Let me say that. Because that ain't nothing for regulars, but hey, man, I definitely got a little ear, was an issue. So I'll try my best to hold back on it a little bit. I'll try my best on Sunday mornings to be a little more polite. But yeah, much love in that super chat, Jameson King. Addy Williams said people were complaining about Andre Ward's commentary last night. I was listening to it, and I did think he screwed up the commentary in this regard. He said that he missed like round 2 and 3. Like round 2 and 3. I was like, dude, I thought Postal won both those rounds. At round 4, I think I had it like 3-1 Postal. Thought I had like 3-1 Postal after 4 going into the 5th. And then Robert Garcia really started getting in Ramirez's chest. And when he started getting to his chest and getting on his case, he responded, and I thought Jose Ramirez won the next couple rounds, but he just kept missing the jabs and the straight right hands. However, to his credit, I did notice in his scorecard that although his coverage, he was kind of riding with Postal more than I thought he should. He gave the last 3 straight rounds, or 3 of the last 4 rounds, to Postal. So I think he caught himself a little bit with that. You know what I mean? And Tim Bradley had him over, held him over a barrel about it. And was right, because he was off. That was a close fight. I didn't talk about the fight very much, on the lead into it. But my thought on the fight was that it was going to be a tough fight. Postal is kind of a guy like a Sean Porter's type of guy, but at 140, but not as good, not quite a Sean Porter level type of guy, but a guy that's going to be tough to beat because he's tall, he's long, he stays on the outside well, he takes a good punch. You know what I mean? He's a good fighter, right? He's not a great fighter, but he's a good fighter. He's a test. He's the type of guy that in order to be a champion, you have to be able to beat him. So it makes sense to me that Jose Ramirez would fight that the fight would turn out like that. Now I think that Jose Ramirez won the fight. I didn't score it, right? So in order to give you a round by round total, I'd have to look at it. And I don't really, didn't really feel like doing that. I didn't really feel like doing that. Crawford Shafai, yeah, we'll get on that, man. Okay, here, I'm caught. I got to make sure I get caught up on the right page. You can't pose in front of Ramirez. He's looking for that. Oh, okay, that's not me. All right, Dan Rayfield, the undisputed buffet champion. Yeah, man, Dan Rayfield. I'm gonna try not to get blocked by Dan Rayfield now that he works for Boxing Scene. I'm maturing in my journal, in my reading of journalists. It's whatever really now with a Dan Rayfield. But yeah, that whole idea that this performance makes Terence Crawford look better. No, it really doesn't, because quite honestly, dog, their performance was not radically different. The only difference between the major difference was that Crawford's not wide open for a jab and a straight right hand. I mean, it was pretty ridiculous how much Jose Ramirez was taking jabs and a straight right hand. 1-2. If it wasn't for the 1-2, that fight might have been a blowout, but he has that 1-2. You know what I mean? And he's 5'11", and that's not easy to get around against a guy that's that big. Eclectic, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, hey, without the deal. Has Wilder started training again? I don't know. I don't think I suspect that. I suspect that he has. I suspect he probably never stopped. He doesn't. You know what I mean? What's he supposed to do out there in Alabama? He ain't just going to sit around and gain 200 pounds. Tell you that. Oh damn, Levi, he wouldn't say that. Don't do Bud like that. Bud ain't gonna say nothing like that. Why would Bud wish death on Errol Spence? I think that's a little bit over the top. Levi, that's way over the top. I doubt very much that nobody in boxing wishes death. I would hope that nobody in boxing wishes death on somebody else, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's not that serious. It's not that serious. Said it's a joke. Yeah, I got you, Levi, but you'd be surprised what people will run off with. Lance Pugmire just got roasted for what? What did Lance Pugmire get roasted for? You saw Crawford ran like motherfucker that night. Look, man, it's a good win, but it's not something that is this fight with Jose Ramirez does not make the Crawford fight look any different. It was a fight because the fact that Postal went the distance with Terence Crawford We all saw that it was a good fight. We all knew that Postal could fight because of the Terence Crawford fight. Postal looked very good against Josh Taylor too. There was never any doubt that Postal was a good fighter. You know what I mean? Nobody was sitting around thinking Postal wasn't a good fighter. Every time you talk about what good fights Terence Crawford had, people talk about, well, I always stop at the Victor Postal fight, right? But Victor Postal is a gatekeeper. That's what he is. He's a gatekeeper. He's a gatekeeper. Fahim Satur said, Fannon, I've been telling y'all for years that Bud was ducking the smoke. Hey, man, that's his reputation right now. That's no doubt about it whatsoever, man. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Just a mistake to get my cash at Dan Rayfield, the undisputed buffet champion. Now, well, I think I can handle him. Well, yeah, that would be on a fight. Yeah, no, I can't handle Rayfield at no buffet table. What the fuck I'm talking about? Hell no, I can't handle that man at no buffet table. He'll kill it. Yeah, for sure. But for one shot, dog, I can put some food. No, I can put some food away. But I don't like the feeling of being full. That's my savior. I like graze and eat all day if I'm not careful. Yeah, he'll be killing it, man. Killing it. Killing it. Oh, this is fun today. ASAP Sam said, did Kell accept the $1.5 million offer? I don't know. I don't believe he would. But I do have to say something, though, since you brought that up. See, I like this. I'm going to have free flowing. Fuck it. Look, man. I listened to I'm not going to say who it is because I like you. All right. I suspect by your accent that you are from Dallas or Texas, and you have a very good show. I enjoyed your show. All right? I enjoyed your show. Hold on one second. I enjoyed your show enough to respond to you in a respectful fashion because I really did enjoy it. All right, so we had a conversation about this $1.5 million and why do I say that $1.5 million is an insult to Kell Brook? Why? And a person that I have a lot of respect for, like I said, I like your channel, said that, no, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I was sitting there chilling. Sipping on some scotch. I was chilling. Just imagine it in your mind's eye. I'm chilling. It's Friday night. I'm on my back porch. You know, my wife allows me some CBD so I can fake like I had some weed. You know what I mean? So I can fake it. So I was like, because I used to smoke a lot, but used to be a big time smoker, but I had to stop. So I stopped. But then I found out CBD is legal. So I was like, oh, and it numbs you. So I was like, okay, let me try that. So I'm chilling, right? I'm in a state of chilling. And I'm listening to a podcast or YouTube live stream, which is a good one, right? But I never really get an opportunity to listen to people's live streams all the way, right? Because I'm just very, very busy. But I was listening. And so the argument that was made was that if Kell Brook takes $1.5 million and beats Terence Crawford, then he is right back in there and has the opportunity to make a lot more money. And also, that Kell Brook hasn't really done anything in the last 2 years. And as a result of not doing anything for the last 2 years, he doesn't deserve, he don't deserve more than $1.5 million. All right, so I hope that I represented what you said well. Okay? Well. Okay? Hey, hold on 1 second. There's nobody in my house, but there's sound on. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. All right. So, Fahim Satur says CBD is a gateway drug. Nah, that shit is weed. That's what that shit is. Okay? It's just the male version. I'm guarantee you people were out there selling that shit back in the day. But it was like, man, this shit is just garbage. You know what I mean? But when I was like, I was like, man, this looks just like dirt. I used to call it dirt. Like, this shit looks like dirt. And my man told me, he's like, nah, that ain't dirt. That's not dirt. That's, that's CBD. It's just da-da-da. And so I partook in some CBD, which is perfectly legal, right? So nobody can tell me shit about doing it. So I partook in my constitutional right, my state right of some CBD Crawford. CBD WAP Crawford. Wow, that shit is hilarious. So anyway, let me get back to this because I wanted to respond to this dude. Because I'm like, that's what's up. I like that. I like that I forgot that there are people that I actually like and respect that disagree with me. So I was like, cool. But so I'm going to give you the response because I know I'm talking about you. So, and I respect you, dog. I do. I like you. But here's the thing, man. Kell Brook, first of all, your argument was two-pronged. One, that Kell Brook ain't done shit since Errol Spence, so he don't deserve the money. And the second prong was that if he beats him, then he'll have the ability to make more money with other people, right? So here's my response. Number one, Kell Brook just made $1 million fighting no fucking body. Kell Brook already makes that much. Kell Brook made more than 1.5 most likely in his last fight against a fucking nobody. Kell Brook is a big name in the UK. Kell Brook ain't got no problem making over $1 million to fight. You know what I'm saying? Did you not see that big ass stadium filled for Kell Brook? The O2 Arena? That's where that nigga lives. Okay? He's cool. Kell Brook is an attraction. He's just not the top guy. The dog, he's making as much as Teofimo Lopez, man. So that's number one. So let me say I set that shit to the side, okay? Because you said he has not done enough to earn 1.5 million because he ain't done shit since Errol Spence. And then I'm sharing with you, dude, that's how much he made for his fights since then too. He made at least 3.5 or something like that for Errol. All the other bum fights have been well over $1 million. Kell Brook would retire if he couldn't make $1 million, man. Kell Brook, dude, them UK dudes do get paid. Okay? They do get paid. They may be overrated and talk a lot of shit, but the money, dog, they earn their money because those dudes are supported over there. So there you go. Boom. That's point number one. It has to go. Has to go. Because he makes that much money right now. So he wouldn't be settling. It's not like he's getting some good deal. And he's getting $1.5 million, the same amount of money he got for fighting Tin Can, from Tin Can Sam over there in the UK. No, you know what I mean? And he's retirement age. He doesn't have that's the second part of it. Now, the second part is, hey, he can make, he can make more money down the line. Dog, he's already almost done with his career. He's got to make his money now. That ain't no, let's see where he can go with his career. He's not 22. You know what I mean? He could be done. His career could be done next week because he's up. He's up in age and he's got 2 broken orbital bones. He doesn't have a bunch of fights to be taken. He needs to get his money now. And generally speaking, dog, why? Why? I'm sorry. And he ain't beaten. Bud. He ain't stupid. And he ain't stupid. So all of that shit comes to me in Kell Brook ain't stupid. You know what I mean? Because that shit would be stupid to do if that was Kell Brook. And that's why the number. Because the reason that somebody said that the offer was 1.5, whoever let that be known was telling you this is some horse shit. He offered 1.5 to Kell Brook. You didn't expect the fight. You know what I mean? And though you guys might be Bud fans, dog, people ain't going to bend over and spread them for Bud, okay? You're not going to bend them over and spread them for Bud. Why? He could fight. Why would he risk his career? If he loses to Bud or when he loses to Bud, depending on how badly he loses to Bud, it's a wrap, right? But for the same money, he could fight 4 guys for $1.5 million. He could fight 4 guys for $1.5 million and not lose any of them. And 1.5 times 4 is 6 million, right? That's 6 million instead of 1.5 to lose 1 in a fight that he didn't think he could win anyway. That's just kind of starting with like what you want to see and working backwards. Like, no, he's not going to do that shit. That's why we know the number. I would be surprised. Hey, thanks. Much KQKC in that super chat. Thank you. Said, keep your grind up, my brother. Yes, sir. All day, every day, man. Thank you, man. KQKC Boxing, man. Subscribe to KQKC Boxing. Bud is going to fight Van Heerden next. I wouldn't be surprised. It looks like about right. That's what you can expect. You know what I mean? That type of fight. I wouldn't be surprised at all. If that's how that popped up. Hey man, look, we got almost 400 people in the building. We got 216 likes. Can we get the likes over? Can we get the likes to 250? Get the likes up to 250, please. And because you guys are coming in the door, it's about 8:43. People should start waking up now. So y'all start coming in, man. Hit the like on the way in. Eddie Williams said Kell deserves $4 to $5 million at least against Bud. I mean, yeah, that's at this point, dude, it's just they don't want that fight. That's what that sounds like. $1.5 million offer is like, we don't really want this. We're under pressure to ask for this fight. We don't really want this, but here you go. You know what I mean? Here's an offer. If you're okay with doing this, then we can fight. Dog, you serious? $1.5 million? No, I'm not. No, not interested in this. You know what I mean? Not interested in going overseas for $1.5 million and paying taxes. Paying taxes in the United States on $1.5 million and then coming back to the UK and paying taxes on it. When I can just stay in the UK and make that money and not pay taxes in the United States. Why would I do that? And if you're coming to the UK, first of all, why? There's no fans. But if you are and we're televising it in the UK, I want more than 1.5 million because it's in the UK. You know? Hey, what's going on? Tay Brown said, I just smashed the button. My bad, Fannon. That's all right. It's all love. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate the emojis, too. Very nice emojiing there. Very, very top-notch emoji skills there, my lady. Pugilist Shiznick said, Brook not going to take 1.5 million, so Bud gave it to Russell. So anyway, let's get to, not anyway, I'm sorry. Yes, absolutely. Let's get back to the other thing. So, yes, what's up? What's going on, man? MOB, Magnum Opus Business and Boxing. What's going on, man? That's the same Magnum Opus you changed? You changed from Magnum Opus to this? That's what's up. Yeah, but it's tough on him, dog. It's tough on him and his fan base, that's for sure. That is definitely for the truth. But let's get on the conversation, dude, about this, man. Like this thing that, how's that going to make him? It's not going to make him. It's not going to make the win against Ramirez does not make Terence Crawford's resume look any different whatsoever. That was a fight that pretty much was gonna turn out that way. Steve J in the building. What's good, man? What's good? Hold on one second. All righty. Dubois is going to kill Joyce. Let me get back to this. Let me try to stay on point, man. This is really cool, dude. Talking to you guys. So many people that I don't usually see in the morning live streams. And it's really nice to be in the chat a lot, man. Jonathan Robbins say, you are the man. Keep grinding. Thank you very much, man. Jeffrey Lopez, Fannon, salute to you and yours. Yes, sir. 2020 family and health. Don't let them cloud your 2020 vision. We're in the middle of a war and propaganda and warfare. Salute to the LDBC. I don't know why Jeffrey Lopez wanted to give me a motherfucking IQ test in the middle of the morning to make words out of that. But it was fun, dog. What's going on, Mr. Pedrazor and Stephen Young in the building? What's going on, man? Let's get the 300 likes, man. The building. That's what's up. Appreciate you. So, but let's talk about Jose Ramirez for a second. I like Jose Ramirez, dog, but that fight could have been a lot more easy easier for him if he didn't try to go for the knockout. Because that's what it really looked like to me. And like Ramirez made a mistake trying to go for a knockout. And it just kept jumping in there and getting hit with that 1-2. Kept jumping in there and getting hit with that 1-2. Jumping in there and getting hit with that 1-2. You know? And that's what made the fight close. But at the same time, dude, like, I could see what Andre Ward was saying because, you know, Postal really never sat down on the right hand, even though when he did, he hit sit that dude's head back. But he never really, you know, he didn't really try to bring the heat. He was out there trying to win on points. You know, he fought it like a prolonged amateur fight. So, Fannon, what's your thoughts on the Ramirez fight? It's been tough on Bud lately for sure, but I have to say Bud beat him way more convincingly. He had no chance versus Bud like that at all. Yeah, but Steve J, you know, it's styles make fights, man. Postal is fighting a guy that's fighting Ramirez, who's a come-forward fighter. That's how he approached him. Like, he just came at him in a straight line and was trying to knock him out. In the Terence Crawford fight, dude, Terence Crawford just outboxed him. If I recall correctly, he really didn't engage him like that. So it's just two different fights. You know what I mean? It's two different fights. You could say the same thing like Errol Spence Jr. versus Sean Porter and Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter. You know, Sean Porter or Keith Thurman beat Sean Porter more convincingly, quote unquote, more convincingly than Errol Spence Jr. did because he fought him from the outside and he won the fight more easily. Where Errol Spence Jr. pushing the fight and trying to knock out Sean Porter gave Sean Porter more opportunities to hit him. So, you know, I don't think that's a fair comparison. You know what I mean? I don't think that's a fair comparison to, I don't think that's fair to Ramirez. Because Ramirez, he opened himself up. He opened himself up for them shots. And to his credit, I mean, he really did land some big shots on Postal, but, you know, it just didn't hurt him. So I never thought, like, the Postal fight was one of the fights that had me say that he's a pound for pound number one guy, right? Even though I had to take it back because he ain't fighting nobody. You know what I mean? So, you know, styles make fights. He didn't knock him out, though. You know what I mean? Bud didn't make Postal, like, you can say it's a one-sided fight, but, dude, he didn't go through Postal like he goes through everybody else. You know? It also says, and then here, think about this, man. Think about this. Oh, Damon Wester said, Mexicans are notorious for looking bad against boxers, bro, and it happened the way I thought it was going to happen. Close fight. Yeah, David Wester, that's what's up. Yeah, I think that is that style. I won't say that it's Mexicans per se, but I get what you're saying. You know, obviously, I get what you're saying. What's going on, Mike 202? Peace and blessings, Fannon and OG Boxing Talk and the LDBC. Yes, sir. Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, man. I completely forgot. All right, so we know that Chadwick Boseman passed away after a long battle with hold on 1 second. I gotta see something. Yeah, and he's an alumni of Howard University. Chadwick Boseman, who like myself is an alumni of Howard University, and man, just was responsible for a movie to me, man. And I was like, I don't really get big and goosebumpy about movies, but hey, man, he did something. He was involved in something really special for a lot of people with Black Panther, and I did see the James Brown movie. He was excellent in the James Brown movie. And it's just, it's a shame, man. But if he was years of prostate cancer, rest in peace, rest in power to Chadwick Boseman. R.I.P. All right. Hey, we got 390. We got almost 400 people in the building, man. We got 282 likes, man. Let's get the likes up, man, please. Earl says, I didn't realize he was that much of a boxing fan. Yeah, man, he stayed around boxing, man. Stayed around boxing. I saw, a bunch of stuff. It's interesting, though, man. When I saw him in a fight, I was like, wow, he doesn't look good. Like, he looked emaciated at the last fight that I saw him. I was like, wow, he really looked like he lost a lot of weight. That's unfortunately, man. Jonathan Robinson, who do you have as your top 5 pound for pound? I got to redo it. But in no particular order at this moment. Vasily Lomachenko, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, Jermell Charlo, Gervonta Davis, probably. Something like that. No Canelo. Canelo pop dirty. I'm not putting anybody on list that pop dirty. Can't happen. You pop dirty. So I don't know, Canelo ain't on my list at all. If I was gonna have Canelo on my list, I would have to do the same thing to Canelo that I did to Terence Crawford. I had to take him off the list for not fighting nobody. So it's either way for me with Canelo. He's gone regardless. Man, Easy Lou and Boxing TV, man, thank you so much for your support in the Super Chase. Fannon, so when Crawford offered Brook 1.5, is that what he meant? He told Porter that he was working on something. And how can I grow my channel? Love your channel, Fannon. Thank you for your work. I'd have to know a lot about the first part. Well, the second part about the channel, in case I go too long on the first, just if you join the Patreon, I can do videos and I can help you that way. No worries. I'm not going to do it on here because for real, we know how to grow channels, and cats, sometimes aren't very, take the help and are not very appreciative. So gotta do it in that regard, man. But I can definitely help you. I actually have got a video up, a couple of videos up on the subject over on the Patreon. And if you're a Patreon, I'll do more videos on specific topics. And then I can basically guide you through the whole process. But I'll tell you, it's just work. It's no magic. It's not magical. It's a lot of work. It's content. You got to be good. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. I'll give you that much. You got to know what you're doing, right? You got to do what you're doing very, very well and consistently. And you got to find a community. And there's technical stuff. But I can lead you. If people are interested in that, join the Patreon and ask me those questions and say, hey, I would like you to talk about this. And then I will do a video specifically on that. Game to be sold, not told. I'll tell people the game. But he's got a boxing channel already. So he started it a little bit. But no, yeah, people do pay for the advice. So there's that part of it. But I appreciate you. Much love in that super chat, man. But for your super chat though, because you did super chat, and that is a month of Patreons, right? Which means you get to request these things. But for your $10, I'll tell you what I mean about that is you got to know what you're doing, right? So what type of boxing channel are you? Are you going to do videography? Are you going to give your opinion? Are you going to do interviews? What are you going to do? Right? What is your lane going to be within boxing? Who is your audience? Who do you expect your audience to be? Right? What is your, and then once you do it, you got to keep changing. You got to keep working. And if you're good, you'll attract people. And don't limit it to boxing because there might be something better, right, than boxing if that's what you're looking for income. But that's my take on it. Ronald Jones said, I'm 58 and I haven't grown to Patreon yet. I'm just learning YouTube. Hey, man, you don't have to be on Patreon if you don't want to be. That ain't no worries. It's all good. Hey, what's going on? What's Blazing in Sports, man? Shout out to What's Blazing in Sports. Subscribe to What's Blazing in Sports. Excellent, 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 excellent channel. Here comes this damn dog again. Hold on one second. Man, this thing. All right, so let's get back to it. Much love in that super chat. Thank you, sir. Derek said, oh, no, that's not for me. Yeah, anyway. Back to the conversation. Oh, Dapper Douglas said Jermell, Arrow, Tank, Loma, Crawford. Yeah, that's not a bad list. There's some people though that do need to come that I just don't agree with ESPN. Like Gennady Golovkin. There's no reason for Gennady Golovkin to still be on that list. He lost and he got stripped. You know what I mean? He's lost. He got stripped of a belt. He won his belt back against a guy that he got stripped for fighting and for not fighting. And you see how close the fight was. Gennady Golovkin has lost to Canelo Alvarez and he went tooth and nail with Sergey Derenchenko. That tells you the level of Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin is the level of Sergey Derenchenko. So why is he at this moment still on people's pound for pound list? That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And he didn't get his get back either. You know what I mean? Like Jermell Charlo lost, but Jermell Charlo got his get back. Right? Jermell Charlo got get back. Gennady Golovkin just took an L and then went on to struggle with somebody else. So why would they? So why is he on the list? You know, why would he be on the list ahead of these dudes? But they got him on the list. And then you have guys like Monster Inoue. And what's Monster Inoue done? I mean, Monster Inoue struggled with No Nino Donaire. Now, you know what I find interesting? Yeah, get the likes up, man. All I care about today, I love the super chats, dog, but I really just care about the likes. You know what I mean? Like, people want to say, but nah, you're always begging for the super chats. You beg for super chats. Like, no, I really don't. I don't. Only thing that I ask, and I appreciate that I really asked for in exchange for talking boxing and setting up the forum on a regular basis so that people could come in here and talk to each other as well as listen to me run off at the mouth, is that you hit the like button. You know what I mean? And that's free. Okay? That's free as shit. It's one extra button push. You know what I mean? It's one extra button push. So it's really not that big a deal. You know what I mean? So what's the problem? So if you don't do it, then I'm like, okay, then you don't really know who's really in here, who really wants to be in here, how big the community really is. So with the like, I want to know who's really down with the channel. And it's a good number to know. It's just, I like Beterbiev. I could put, but Beterbiev, yeah, I got to see Beterbiev fight somebody though. I know he beat Wojcik. I know he beat Wojcik, but I don't think he's done. What's he, 175? I don't think he's like Wojcik's in the same situation that our Adonis Stevenson was in to me. What's the difference? Like, I don't remember anybody having Adonis Stevenson in their top 10 pound for pound. And he reigned and was knocking people the fuck out at 175 pounds. He knocked out the champion Chad Dawson. Knocked him out cold. Right? What has Beterbiev done that? Now I know that he had been knocked out by Andre Ward, but shit, that's Andre Ward that beat him. That beat Chad Dawson. So you know what I mean? I got to be consistent. But I think that Beterbiev should be in there. I mean, Beterbiev, he's very good. You know what I mean? He's definitely a guy that's one of the more dominant guys in their weight class. Like, I think he is the best at 175. I like Beterbiev. I like Tank a little more than I like Beterbiev. But I like Beterbiev. That dude's hardcore. That's a rough ass dude. Earl Taylor Sr. said Beterbiev needs to fight Bivol, then move up to cruiserweight. Yeah, I mean, or he's a big 175. He can make the weight. I'm cool with him at the weight. If he can make it happen, make it happen. That ain't a problem. Drago Rock, much love in that super chat, man. So let's call it what it is. Crawford gingerly picking fights in fear he could potentially lose on the way to Spence. That's the appearance. Yeah, that's the fact. I think it's beyond an opinion at this point. At a certain point in time, dog, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay. Like, at this point, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. Definitely definitely satisfies the standard of the preponderance of evidence. Definitely is that. Right? Like, if you think that fighting competition is something that a fighter does, then you gotta include that in your pound for pound equation. Like the willingness to fight other people. How can you be the best pound for pound fighter when you won't fight people? Just by declaring that you'll beat them. And that's what Bud is doing. And so I can't support that, dude. That's like steroids in reverse. You know what I mean? That's like steroids. You get in there, you cheat, and you pretend that you're something you're not because you're on a performance-enhancing drugs, right? But when you don't fight people, you're pretending you're claiming that you're something, but you're not proving it because you won't fight. You know what I mean? It's like you're claiming it without ever fighting. No, man. No. You got to fight, dude. That's one thing you have to do as a fighter. You have to fight. Right? Now, people demoted Andre Ward off of pound for pound list for not fighting, for being inactive when he was in that lawsuit with Goosen. Hey, by the way, much love To my man in the super chat, what's blazing in sports? Says, listening to you as I get ready for my day. Boxing support. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. And definitely subscribe to my man, what's blazing in sports. Man, that dude be working, man. I definitely appreciate the grind dog. I'm a long-time subscriber. Much love to that super chat, what's blazing in sports. What's blazing in sports has a very good live stream. Usually comes on sometime where around the time that I come on in the early afternoon. I'm not sure if you're scheduled or not, but definitely check out my man, what's blazing in sports. Very good live stream. MOB, Magnum Opus Business and Boxes. Facts, Fannon. I got Gary up here due to the Ducks. Yeah, I mean, yeah, put that in there too. Like, if guys won't fight you, where there's smoke, there's fire for me. Okay. So Gary's in there. I'm sorry. Gary at number 5. I'm messing up. Gary, excuse me. Yeah, let me put it that way. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you very much, man. I messed up. Which is why I have to change my deal. Gary Russell Jr. in there because it's in no particular order, right? So yeah, Lomachenko, Crawford, Spence, Russell, Gervonta, Jermell, Spence. Damn, Lomachenko. Do I have to take him? Let me ask, seriously, this is how I think about these things. Do I need to take Crawford all the way out of the top 10? Because for the steroids, I take people all the way out. I just don't demote them. I take them all the way out. So somebody can say, Fannon, you're being unfair. If you take Canelo all the way out for performance-enhancing drugs, shouldn't you take Terence Crawford all the way out for ducking? As I debate with myself. See, that's why I don't lose to y'all in debates, because I debate with my damn self. You know what I mean? I play chess with my damn self. So, Fannon, what the fuck you talking about, Fannon? That's Fannon 1. Hold on, Fannon. No, there's a problem. How can you take out Canelo Alvarez all the way out, but you just demote Bud? Damn, you're right. I fucked up. I lose. You're right. You can't beat me. Nigga, I can't lose to you. You are me. See, that's a little bit of a mental game that before you motherfuckers start debating people, you might want to try out. Okay? Boop, boop. Okay? Your opinion, objection to your opinion. Work through it. So, you're right. Bud's out he's not top 10. Bud gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. He's all the way out. Gotta be consistent for Terry. Gotta be consistent. That's very important, dog. Gotta take him all the way out. Damn, that's hard. He's all the way out. What's going on, man? Marlon So Icy Sims in the building. What's good? He said, I'm all the way out. What's that song? I'm all the way up. Something like turn all the way up. Fuck, I gotta get the fuck out. I gotta take him out, dog. Sorry. And I'm sorry that you had to see the thought process. That is the thought process. That's how it works. Nope, he got to go, dog. He's got to go. Canelo had to go because Canelo cheated. Can't put in Billy Joe Saunders because Billy Joe Saunders drug test. You know what I mean? Can't do it. When I name top heavyweights, can't put Dillian White in there. Can't put Tyson Fury in there because motherfucker popped dirty. So I don't know what he is. He's not the number 1 heavyweight in the world to me because he popped dirty. So I don't know whether he can fight or not. And he's cheating in fights. So how do I really know? You know what I mean? It's pound for pound. It's not fucking cheat for cheat. So I got to reconsider. Your boy. You know? Southern T said, y'all tougher than me. Hey, I try to keep it up. People say I ain't trying to keep it a buck. I try to keep it a buck. Even when I ain't keeping it a buck, I'll tell you I'm not keeping it a buck. You know what I mean? I ride with black people. Fuck all that. Because at a certain point in time, what y'all gonna do is just make arguments to hate on us. And I know where your end result is. So I might block it. I might just do, I might just refute you based on, like your logical inconsistencies and shit like that. And regardless of whether or not I agree with you, I'm not going to give you any fucking room. You're going to have to prove that shit. Okay? Fuck that. Hey, hold on 1 second. Alrighty. Yes, sir. Hey, y'all can hear me, right? Mike, yeah, I'm not muted. So, yeah, Fannon and Get This Smoke would be a great duo. And I don't know who Get This Smoke is. Don't know who Get This Smoke is. But I will tell you, though, I am definitely, when OG Boxing Talk comes back, dude, I am for sure gonna look for permanent hosts. Like, permanent co-hosts. So if you guys, anybody interested in it, you got my Gmail, but it's got to be people that can be there every week, who can be there every week, like on time, and we'll chop it up about the subject. And you got to be an OG. So there'll be cats on the panel. So some cats on the panel can't really come on a regular basis, So, and this channel really is a good opportunity to grow your channel. It's a good opportunity to get exposure for your channel. But and as these fights are coming on, I want to make sure that it's a really, tight show. David Wester said, is Gary Coleman Russell a ducker because people are afraid of him? And how can you lose pound for pound status out of the ring and you undisputed? That's crazy, bro. No, it's not. Not crazy at all. Gary, is he a ducker because people are afraid of him? No. He'd be a ducker if he ducked somebody. Who is Gary? Who is asked to fight Gary Russell Jr.? Damon Wester. Damon, let me know, and I'll wait. I'm a biggie you while I talk about this. I'm a biggie you. Talk to Biggie. Look, man. I asked, what's up? I should do an alter ego thing with this. Look, man. Damon, you would have to tell me who has Gary Russell Jr. fought, or who has called out Gary Russell Jr. that Gary Russell Jr. has not fought. Somebody he had the opportunity to fight that he chose not to fight, that said he would not, either he said he wouldn't fight him or he lowballed him. I'll let you think. Have you thought about it? Because the answer would be nobody. Damon, the answer would be nobody. There is nobody that is asked to fight Gary Russell Jr. at all. Has Carl Frampton asked to fight him? No. Has Leo Santa Cruz asked to fight him? No. Has Josh Warrington, the IBF 126-pound champion, has he asked to fight Gary Russell Jr.? Answer, no. Has anybody asked to fight him? Jojo Diaz did. Jojo Diaz asked to fight him. Jojo Diaz, if I recall correctly, became the mandatory for him. And he got his ass whooped. There was no long, drawn-out negotiations with the Jojo Diaz fight. Gary Russell Jr. took the Jojo Diaz fight and whooped Jojo Diaz ass real easy. Real easy. And then what did Jojo Diaz do? He then proceeds to go up and win the WBO 154-pound title, is what happens with Jojo Diaz. So Gary Russell Jr. fought at 126 and whooped a guy that moved up a weight class and won a title at another weight class. The IBF belt off of Tevin Farmer. So I think we have put to bed the notion that Gary Russell Jr. is a ducker. Number one, nobody's asking to fight him other than his mandatories. He fights his mandatories. He whoops his mandatories. So he's not ducking. Okay? And because people are afraid of him. So there you go. He's not a ducker because they didn't call him out. In order to be a duck, you got to duck something. Either a mandatory or another champion or somebody calling you out. So no other champion asked to fight him. He fought his mandatories and beat him. And none of the other fighters none of the contenders are trying to fight him. So no, Gary Russell Jr. is not a ducker, but it is not because people are afraid of him. He is not a ducker. He is not a ducker because people do not want to fight him. Now, and how can you lose pound for pound status out of the ring? You crazy. You undisputed. That's crazy, bro. Okay, first part. How can you lose pound for pound status out of the ring? Test positive for performance-enhancing drugs, retire, or do not fight somebody. There you go. Those are three ways that I can say that you can lose pound for pound status outside of the ring. Test positive for performance-enhancing drugs. I gave you that. That happens outside the ring. They're not testing for positive. They're not testing positive. They're not testing people inside the ring. So out of the ring, that's one way. And I think you agree with me. That is a way. And it wouldn't even matter if you were undisputed, if you were on performance-enhancing drugs and you lost it outside the ring. So no, that's not crazy, bro. Because I just gave you a scenario where you could lose pound for pound status because you're undisputed. It wouldn't have mattered if Usyk tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs and he was number one pound and say he was number one pound for pound. If he tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs, I'd get him. Matter of fact, I don't even have to say it. Oh, no, that's undisputed. He was undisputed. And number one pound for pound. Because I did it to Crawford. I mean, I did it to Canelo. Canelo's not been in my top 10 pound for pound since he tested positive for Albuterol. I didn't put him back in, and he was number one. And if he didn't test positive for performance-enhancing drugs, there wouldn't even really be a comparison between Canelo and Crawford. Because Canelo has fought people. And Crawford, best win, apparently, according to some people now, they want to try to build him up, is Victor Postal. And what's Victor Postal's claim to fame? That he went the distance in 1 rounds against Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. 2 fighters who are also unproven. Because 2 fighters that are unproven, Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor, because Postal put up good fights against them, that is supposed to give a credit to Bud? No, because that's what Bud did. He put up a good fight against Postal, but Postal did not get knocked out, which means this guy, Postal, and you need to be careful of your arguments. Be careful of your arguments because Postal gave Crawford a better fight than anybody has at welterweight. So if you want to say that the reason that this is some great thing how he performed against Postal, dude, that was at 140. Do you think Postal is any of these other guys are on Postal's level? And that's Postal. You know what I mean? The best guy on his resume now is the best guy because he gave a good fight to Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez. No, dude. He's the number one. He's the number one pound for pound fighter. He's supposed to beat the shit out of Victor Postal. You're supposed to. Ain't nobody gonna be fucking amazed. If Danny Dubois goes in and has a good 12-round fight with Luis Ortiz, right? Or with Adam Kwanecki, right? And he knocks in and he has a good fight, right? Like Adam Kwanecki gives him a good test. And you're like, yeah, okay, cool. Well, then you compare Deontay Wilder to him. Dude, Deontay Wilder's supposed to get Andrew Kwanecki up out of there. Tyson Fury's supposed to get him out of there. Because the reason it's a good fight for Daniel Dubois is because Daniel Dubois is a developing fighter. But Crawford is pound for pound. He's supposed to smoke Victor Postal. He's supposed to smoke those dudes. He didn't smoke them. He didn't beat him any better than he beat Calvin Aukis. That could just say, look, that's the level. That should tell you, to me, I could argue that is more a reflection, the performance of Victor Postal against Taylor and Ramirez is really a reflection upon the competition level of Bud at 147. Because how is Postal, who shows you that he is a solid fighter, right? How is Postal going the distance with Terence Crawford and these welterweights that he's fighting or not? Right? If Victor Postal is this really good fighter, right? Really good fighter, and he's a really good fighter because of what he's doing with Josh Taylor and Ramirez, right? How is guys that in a weight class above, right, not doing as well as Postal? That would tell me that Postal is here and the rest of those guys are here, right? Because Postal in a smaller weight class can outperform Jeff Horn. He outperformed Julius Ndungo. He outperformed Jeff Horn. He outperformed Amir Khan. He outperformed Jose Benavidez. And he outperformed Ingus Calvinakis. Because none of those guys could go the distance with Terence Crawford. But Victor Postal could. Why didn't Terence Crawford knock out Victor Postal? Victor Postal didn't beat Jose Ramirez. He didn't beat Jose Ramirez. He didn't beat Josh Taylor. He didn't beat Jose Ramirez. He lost to them. So if your best competition lost to them, they just beat somebody that's better than anybody you've beaten. Other than that guy. That just means Jose Ramirez, by beating Josh Taylor, has fought just as good a competition and beaten just as good a competition as Bud has. Because Postal went the distance with Bud. All these other guys got knocked out. And if Victor Postal could probably move to 147 and still go the distance with Bud. How about that? If you want to give him credit for Victor Postal, right? Because of Victor Postal's performance right now. What happens if Terence Crawford gets the same result against Terence Crawford right now? And goes the distance. Do you fucking think Victor Postal is going the distance with Errol Spence Jr.? For real. Victor Postal is getting knocked the entire fuck out by Errol Spence Jr. Snoozed. Does anybody doubt that? Anybody doubt that at all? I don't doubt it. I think that is very likely. Daniel Staley says, salute for 9. If you could interview Bud today, what's your first question? For Bud, huh? I don't know, man. It's tough because I wouldn't ask him anything. I think I've heard everything he's ever said out in public. So I would ask him, why does he think that he's getting more knockouts? I would ask him the same question. Why did he go the distance with Victor Postal when he was able to knock out everybody he's fought since Victor Postal? What was different about Victor Postal? I think that's a fair question. What's different about Victor Postal? Why'd you go the distance with him? Why'd you go the distance with Ricky Burns? But yet you can knock out everybody at 147. See, to me, because I'd like to hear the explanation of that, because that I find that very interesting because Errol Spence Jr. is pretty much knocking out all the lower level competition, right? And then goes the distance against the best fighters. Where Bud went the distance against Ricky Burns, and he went the distance against the two best fighters. The two best performances against Bud were Ricky Burns and Victor Postal. And I would think that would have remained consistent into the welterweight division. However, either Bud got radically better at 147, because that could be the answer he could give. Well, I gained more weight. Now I'm really at my, I'm punching harder. It's easier to knock out bigger guys for me than it was to knock out a guy at 135, because I was in the fight weak because I lost all that weight. You know what I mean? Like, why did you go the distance with Breedis Prescott at 135? You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure he went the distance with Breedis Prescott, and he went the distance with Ricky Burns. Then he knocked a bunch of dudes out. He went the distance with Victor Postal, and he's knocked everybody out since then. So it's just interesting. I just think his competition at 147 is just terribly weak. And he's not fought anybody that can take him the distance. And I think that if you see him fight Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Yordanis Ugas, a good chance Ray Robinson, that you're going to see Bud go the distance. And then if Bud gets into firefights, goes the distance and gets in firefights late in the fight, how's he going to do with those firefights late in the fight with a guy that can firefight back with him? You know? Just draws more questions about the level of his competition for me, because it's consistent now. I mean, when it was the case where it was just, Jeff Horn, you can't say anything about. You can't really say anything about Jeff Horn because Jeff Horn was the champion, right? Then he fought Jose Benavidez. Well, Jose Benavidez, that was when everybody was saying that the whole PBC was ducking him and he couldn't get the fight, right? So people are like, okay, can't really say too much about Jose Benavidez other than it's a whack-ass fight with a motherfucker that got bullet shots in his leg. So it is a garbage ass fight. Don't act like it's not, right? But boom, there you go. You gotta give him credit for that, right? But then Amir Khan, you're like, hold on now. Pay-per-view with Amir Khan and not Danny Garcia? Come on, man. So that fight was like, all right, now you're at 3, okay? Dude, really? At 3 strikes you out. You know what I mean? Well, we're at 2. You're at 2 because you couldn't have a 1. But Jose Benavidez and Amir Khan, you could help. So, dog, 3 strikes you out. Now you got to fight somebody. All right? Then he part is mandatory. So you're like, well, okay, shit, this is mandatory. But you out. Other than that, but I guess you could call a mandatory like a ball. You know what I mean? That's just a ball. Whoop, my mandatory, that's a ball. All right, so it's 3, dog. Woo-wee, come on, man, we need somebody now. Then he fights. So now who's he going to fight? Once he turns down all these other guys, and now it just seems like, no, dude, now I know you're not fighting anybody. It's over with. You're done. You don't get that many shots, dog. There's too many other good fighters. And it's just not a good look to support that. Any way you cut it, it's not a good look. It's not a good look to support that. For sure, it's not. What are people timed out for saying? Damon Wester. There you go. When was Errol's last knockout? Ocampo, not Mikey. Okay, yeah, it was Ocampo. And what? I'll wait to. What's the point? What's the point? Was Errol last knocked out Carlos Ocampo? Then he went the distance with Mikey Garcia. Then he went the distance with Sean Porter. Do you think going the distance with Sean Porter? You think knocking out Aegis Kalvanakis is the same thing as going the distance with beating Sean Porter in a unification fight? For the WBC IBF unification fight? You think a knockout, which knockout does Bud have on his record that is the same as Errol's last fight? Or the fight before that? I'll wait. But while I wait, I'll answer. Let me give you the answer. None. Do you know whose Bud's unification fight was against? I do believe it was Victor Postal. And Julius Ndungo. Let me check. But I'm pretty sure that those are the unification fights for Terence, Bud, Crawford. And it may be Felix Diaz. But let me just see. Which was the first unification fight? Yes, it was Victor Postal. So his unification fight was Victor Postal for the WBC and the WBO. Now, unanimous decision, Victor Postal. Right? That's who Bud unified with. See how this is not going to go well for you, Damon? Can you see how your argument is starting to fall apart? Because Errol did in his last fight what Bud did in his best fight ever against Victor Postal. Do you think beating Victor Postal in a unification fight is the same thing as beating Keith Thurman in a unification fight? No. Do you think going over to the you think Mikey Garcia beating Mikey Garcia, not knocking out Mikey Garcia, but beating Mikey Garcia, you think beating Amir Khan is better than beating Mikey Garcia? What fight does Bud have that is better than the Mikey Garcia fight? What knockout does he have that is better than the Mikey Garcia win for Errol Spence Jr.? None. And you know why I know none? Because Mikey Garcia is a 140-pounder that will pistol whip Victor Postal. Mikey Garcia will pistol whip Victor Postal. There's a chance Victor Postal might not get out of a fight with Mikey Garcia awake. Okay? So let's check the Victor Postal shit. Having fun, Damon Wester. Much love in that super chat. Does anybody in here have Victor Postal beating Mikey Garcia? Anybody? Does anybody have Amir Khan beating Mikey Garcia? Let me know. Let me know. Does anybody have Aegis Kalvanakis beating Mikey Garcia? What about Julius Ndungo? What about Felix Diaz? What about Ricky Burns? What about Hank Lundy? Any of these guys beat Mikey Garcia? Any of them? Did any of those guys beat Sean Porter? Any of them? Does any of them beat Kell Brook? Any of them? No. They do not. They do not beat him. They do not beat Kell Brook. They do not beat Mikey Garcia. They might beat Lamont Peterson. Maybe Aegis Kalvanakis beats him. Maybe. Sergey Lipinets beat him after he got busted up by Errol Spence. Man, come on, dog. It's just bad. It's just really bad, dog. It's not good for Bud, dog. It's not good. It's not good. Tim Burr Satterfield said, Fannon, can you give us your review of the Fred Hampton movie, Jesus and the Black Messiah? The trailer is online. Looks pretty good, too. Yeah, I guess I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't want to do a review because Fred Hampton's movie. Oh, Fred Hampton. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Fred from Barbershop Conversation. You talking about the Black Panther Fred Hampton. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I will. That was a real dude, man. That's why I'm like, I don't understand why people are even a little bit surprised all this shit's going on. Like, dude, if you know about Fred Hampton, none of this shit should surprise you. You know? In defense of Bud, I think healthy Benavidez is a problem. Well, that's not in defense of Bud because Benavidez was not healthy when Bud fought him. He had already got shot in the leg. He was in the ring with a knee brace. That's not fair to Bud. That's actually diminishing Bud. Look, dude, it's just hard on Bud, man. There ain't no way around all that, man. Ain't no way around it, dog. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. That's like that song. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Steve J said, comparing Arrow wins to Bud wins is comparing varsity ball to JV ball. It is exactly what that is. It is. It is. Bud is on a mini Mayweather plan. He on a mini Mayweather plan. He ain't making nearly the money, but it's going to be smooth sailing. The real songstress. Much love in that super chat, by the way, Steve J. And Arrow last night knocked Sean Porter down, basically a knock. Arrow last fight, he knocked Sean Porter down, basically a knockout. Much love in that super chat. He didn't knock out Sean Porter, dog. He won the fight with that knockdown. Like, just put it out of the way. But that just tells you, dude, what a great fighter he is, man. Dude, that ain't easy to do. And that wasn't flash, dog. He was on the group. And, dude, he was hitting. Man, that dude can fight on the inside. Oh, by the way, dude, Josh Taylor doesn't fight on the inside well. So, hey, for people that said, Bud ain't pound for pound, and we got to fight somebody, he'll be right back there, though. On the other side for Bud, for Bud, hey, man, you be right back in there if you fight somebody. Right away. You beat Kell Brook, knock out Kell Brook, I put you right back on number one pound for pound. So his can be remedied, unlike Nelo's. So for my man, David Wester, just so you know, David Wester, it's like he is suspended from the top 10. He is not expelled. There is a procedural difference, though, for Bud. Bud has only been, he is like pound for pound in recess. That's what he is. That's what it is. Right now, he's number one. I took him from number one pound for pound to putting him to number one pound for pound in recess. Okay? And so there you go. Okay? And Deontay Wilder is franchise pound for pound. He's my franchise pound for pound guy. It don't really matter if he loses or whatever. He's franchise pound for pound. He's my franchise pound for pound. And Terence Crawford is my pound for pound in recess. And right now, Vasily Lomachenko is interim pound for pound. Y'all motherfuckers steal that shit. Dog, you cannot steal that shit. Okay? I'm telling everybody, I just made that shit up. You steal my shit. It's on record right now at 9:40 a.m. How many minutes into this chat are we? Because I know 98 minutes into this chat that I named my pound for pound belts after the WBC. Okay? So I can have just as ridiculous a fucking excuse-making mechanism to keep people around to have their names on my list. See, I know Terence Crawford ain't fighting nobody, but I need him on my list. I don't want to put him off my list, so I'll put him in recess, okay? Now, I like Deontay Wilder so much, and so many of these heavyweights cheat them, that if Deontay Wilder tests positive performance-enhancing drugs as far as the top heavyweights, I'm going to put him as the number one top boxing heavyweight in recess. So we can just have a bunch of belts around this joint. I need multiple belts on my pound for pound. The Real Soldier said Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia was a sparring match for the truth. I don't think he was trying to hurt Mikey. Plus, Mikey didn't even get in a lick. Oh, no, he got his ass whooped. Much love to the Soldiers. Much love to the Soldiers. Excellent point. It was like a sparring match, but I will say he was trying to hurt him. But he did just box him and not give Mikey any chance to do anything. He knew what Mikey was going to try to do. But I do believe that what he said later, like his conditioning, I think his conditioning did affect him. Where at a point in time in the fight, he wanted to go and really take him out, but he felt like he really couldn't let his hands go as hard as he wants and be sure that he had enough conditioning in case Mikey Garcia didn't get knocked out. Because Mikey Garcia, he was trying to absorb a lot of the shots, right? And maybe he was thinking he could tire Errol down. And then, because Mikey had good defense in that he didn't allow himself to get knocked the fuck out. He kept that body. He never really succumbed to the body shots to the point where he would drop his hands. He took the body shots. He would take the body shots. Copyright pound for pound. There you go. Copyright. I'm sure somebody got that shit copyrighted. That's like ubiquitous at this point. I'd be like, yes, I would think that would be ubiquitous at this time. A ubiquitous phrase. Is what I would say. I got to get a hater. I haven't had a hater yet. I know, because I don't look. Southern T-Bot said, I'm stealing it. All right, as long as you know. As long as you and I know you're stealing it. That's all I need. I'm all right. As long as you and I both know you're stealing it. And it's all good. Hey, look, man, we got 462 in the building, man. Let's get the likes over 450, man. Let's get the likes over 450. Ain't no rush today. Having a good day. Let's make it hot. I was surprised that the scorecard went for Porter, but I respect it because Porter fought hard. Yeah, I mean, I could see how somebody could, I have a theory about why stuff like that happens in fights that are like fairly judged. Like, because a lot of times you see one guy go really like what one fighter does, the other guy likes what another fighter does. When that happens like that, I think that is something that winds up balancing it out, So I'm okay as long as the scorecard, as long as the fight turns out and it's awarded to the right person. I don't really go crazy about it, man, because no matter what the scorecard is from a judge, it's just one scorecard, and there are 3 scorecards. So you know what I mean? Even though I'm sure that your boy Jose Ramirez is going to get the benefit of the doubt in that match. Buddy Lee Sr. says, I want to put it on the screen, but I won't. I just put super chats on the screen. Cassius Boxing, you tripping. I'm tripping about what? Cassius Boxing, you got to tell me what I'm tripping on, dog. What am I tripping on, Cassius U Boxing? Let me check on my dogs real quick. And Cassius U Boxing, you'll be the first person that I respond to, provided there's not a super chat or something. Provided there's not a super chat or something. All righty. What's going on, my man? Rolling one up. Thanks for the support on Twitter, my man. So, Cassius, where are you, dog? Mr. Already said I missed the super chat. Sorry, I was trying to. That's another thing. Another reason why I need to reformat the show, because it's so hard. I'm missing people's super chats so badly. Let me get in a second, and I'll go back and I'll find yours. The real songstress says Mikey was a punching bag for Arrow. Man, without a doubt. Without a doubt. It was a joke. The fight was a joke. You know? Big Dog Willie in that super chat. And much love to the real songstress in that super chat. Big Dog Willie says, since Dillian White is out of the way in the greatest karma KO in recent history, who is the biggest bitch ass in boxing right now? Dillian White. Dillian White is still a bitch ass. Dillian White is still the number one bitch ass in all of boxing. Without a doubt. Number one bitch ass. Dog, dude, him losing just solidified that he's the biggest bitch ass in boxing. It didn't, you know what I'm saying? That's what happened. That's what happened with that. We already knew. You know what I mean? Like, that's just like we knew. Because before, we couldn't say that he was the biggest bitch ass in boxing. Because he hadn't had his ass knocked the fuck out yet. Like I thought he was. You know what I mean? Like, I thought he was. Like, I would have put him there. But when he got his ass knocked out, oh, dog, right there. Because you talked all that shit, and now you're just a hypocrite. Because you can never say shit about somebody getting knocked out again. Ever. 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 You know what I'm saying? Ever. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder said that he wanted to get knocked out. He was like, Tyson Fury's like, dude, let me go out on my shield. I want to go out unconscious. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't want to stop fighting unless he was knocked unconscious. You know what I mean? Dillian White, was dogging people for getting knocked unconscious. Then his ass is snoozing. Damn, I sang. My bad. That was terrible. He was snoozing. I should never sing. Rob Crew, and much love in that super chat, my man. Hold on one second, man. Where'd it go? Big Dog Willie. Much love in that super chat, Big Dog Willie. And I got to go back to I'm going back to find the other one. Rob Cruz says, salute, Fannon, salute. New to the show. Can you do a show on how welterweight landscape will change if Bud, Spence lose their upcoming fights before fighting each other? Well, I don't think that's really a video type of thing. I can make comment. I can let you know right now about it in the super chat. That's what the live stream's for. But I'll give you the answer, and it might wind up going as long as a video. Hold on one second, though. Much love in that super chat. Give me 1 second. I got to get some water. Sorry, man. My throat is like super dry. Thank you. Sorry, man. Talking for hours and hours and hours. Throat. No, there's audio, Avery Johnson. I'm back, right? You can hear me now, right? You can hear me now, right? Yeah, I had to hold on a second because I'm trying not to eat and drink water in front of y'all. While I go off screen real quick, it's because I don't want to eat. My throat was dry, so I needed to get some mucus. I need to get like some mucus out of my mouth. So I don't want to do any of that on camera. I don't want you to have to hear me. I don't want you to have to see me. Because one time, dude, I was drinking some coffee and I didn't realize the coffee was bad. And I drank it, and I was like, oh, I immediately like reflex spit it out. And people were like, came to the chat, were like, oh man, why you, man? Come on, don't spit on the camera. I was like, you're right, because I didn't mean that. Oh, there you go, Cassius. You tripping, giving Crawford back the #1 spot. I didn't give him the #1 spot back. I said #1 in recess. Number one in recess. He can have it back if he fights somebody and beats them. Why wouldn't I? If he fought, if he went and beat Sean Porter in his next fight, he shuts everybody up. Right? That's all he has to do. You just shut everybody up. Okay, that's like when Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz. He has to, everybody shut up. He just beat Luis Ortiz. Nobody else has even fought Luis Ortiz, if I said Victor. Luis Ortiz. So I don't want to hear shit about who won't fight who. None of y'all fought Luis Ortiz. Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz. None of y'all did. Shut up. Okay? Shut up. I'm going to take another sip of water. I don't like doing it on camera. Yeah, so there you go. No one fought him. So there you go. Nobody fought him. Since nobody fought him, don't want to hear it. Brian King says, salute. Crawford reminds me of Donald Curry. I'll look into that. Donald Curry's a good fighter. Khalid, I got to do something. Y'all got to hold on. I got to go get this other super chat that I missed. So give me 1 second. Man, yes, I love it, man. Thank you guys so much for coming to the show. Thank you guys so much for your support. This early in the morning, on Sunday morning, for you guys to come speaks volumes. Volumes. Now, I don't usually say volumes. There you go, super chats. And Mr. Already, has Peg Leg had a fight since Bud? No, he has not. Mr. Already, much love in that super chat from Mr. Already. Hey, next time somebody says I missed the super chat, you let me know what the super chat said, and then I can put that comment up, and I can go in on that comment. Okay, so let's have a new protocol. Hey, thanks, Mr. Arce. You all right with me? Thank you, man. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you. Yeah, but next time if I miss it again, just put, hey, I did a super chat and it said this. If you feel like doing it, if you can wait, I'll go back and I'll make sure that I put that one up. Okay. Thank you so much. Roll all the way down here. So what's I gotta find a hater, dog. I gotta find a hater. Dre's finest in that super chat. Much love in that super chat, man. Dre's finest say, good morning, LDBC fam. The DMV is on deck. You dig? I dig. I dig. Best boxer in the game. Well, my best fighter in the game in recess is Terence Crawford. As of right now, my best fighter in the game has to be Vasily Lomachenko. You know what I mean? I think. Because I don't, you know why I don't put Errol Spence up there? Because I like Errol Spence so much that I don't think that I can put, like, the only reason I don't say Errol Spence is because Errol Spence, I like Errol Spence. I'm such a big fan of Errol Spence that I have to put a little weight on him and say, you really like the dude. So let's put a little weight on him. Let's make sure before I say Errol Spence Jr. is number one pound for pound, Errol Spence Jr. will be for sure the number one pound for pound. And where nobody is doubting it. You know, kind of like Andre Ward, the good old fashioned way, where nobody doubts it. You know what I mean? Like, without a doubt. And see, that's one thing that Terence is irritating too. That's why Terence Crawford is kind of like, you know, I want to give you credit, dog, but you got to fight somebody, man. If he handicapped team Crawford won him. Oh, much love in that super chat, man. Hold on 1 second, though, man. Like I said, man, hold on. All righty. Much love in that super chat. Man, I love this, man. I feel relaxed. This is Sunday. Ain't no rush. We can chill. We can rap about this boxing. My family's going to be home. Junior Kojo said a true fan also critique and give his take. What? A true fan also critiques and gives his take? Yeah. No, anybody. Hold on. Junior Kojo. Explain yourself, dog. I don't know what that means. That's the reason. I need to understand that statement before I can co-sign it or not. I want to respond to it, but I got to understand, dog. I said, I'm an Errol Spence Jr. fan because he does exactly what he says he's going to do. Now, that ain't no doubt. He says he does what he says he's going to do. Lobo Lassa Salido been getting put on his pockets and Duck Haney. I don't know if I can have him at number one either. Nah, I can leave it vacant. I'm not big. There's all kind of different ways that bullshit list can go. You know what I mean? All kind of different ways to skin that rat. All kind of different ways to skin that rat. And put it in some of that nasty food to get you sick. Oh, my man P. F-T-B. Coaches and Fannon, when you said you are a fan of Arrow, but you don't put him in number one. Yeah. But no. It's called a conflict of interest. It's a conflict of interest. I have a conflict of interest with Arrow. I'm telling you, I do. And he beat Sean Porter. Like, I don't want to do, number one, dog, there's reasons I don't completely discount in pound for pound when people win fights in multiple weight divisions. Okay? And Errol Spence Jr. is the top welterweight for sure. All I'm saying is, though, I don't want to, dog, there's some really good fighters, man, that I put there with them pound for pound. As far as what they're able to do in the ring, I ain't gonna underestimate him. He's in there for sure. But I want to make sure somebody, or better yet, too. I had before Errol, Terence Crawford was number one for me before Errol Spence beat Sean Porter. Right? But I'm not going to put him back over Sean. I'm not going to put him over Terence Crawford because of Sean Porter. Because they're in the same weight class. Terence Crawford versus Jose Ramirez. What do you think? Terence Crawford by unanimous decision. Terence Crawford by unanimous decision. I think Terence Crawford is going to be a lot more reserved with Jose Ramirez. But I got him by unanimous decision. But don't get it twisted. I think that's a good fight. Because Jose Ramirez, I like his game, dog. I like how he comes forward. But also I know that he can box. And I know that more than likely he's not gonna just sell out like that. Snacks B in that super chat, he said, paying my dues, Buzz still a part. Much love in that super chat, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. My man. The real songstress back in that super chat. Thank you for holding down the chat. Errol Spence and Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney are the best fighters in the game, period. And Jermell Charlo. I wouldn't put Devin Haney ahead of Jermell Charlo right now. But I'll tell you this about Devin Haney. He made a great point in that video. I got a video. I didn't make it yet, but I'm going to do it. I got a Devin Haney video coming out. But just so you know about that not putting people in the top 10, that's why I hold off on doing interviews with fighters. Because, you know what I mean? Because when you become a fan of a guy, like truly become a fan of a guy, if I become a fan, I'm going to support you. Like, I don't care. I don't care what you think of the fighter at that point. I'm going to support him. Unless he does some straight up biatch type shit. If he fuck around and do some like super biatch shit, then I'm not going to support him. Like test positive for performance enhancing drugs. I supported Tyson Fury. I was a big supporter of Tyson Fury and a big supporter of Anthony Joshua at points. I supported Tyson Fury heavy when he was suspended. I supported him heavy when he was suspended because it was taking so long for the for UCAD to make the decision. I never believed that mental illness shit, nor did I believe that board meat dumb shit. But I was like, AJ's a bitch. He's behaving like a bitch. So, Tyson Fury, at least we know we'll get a fight with Tyson Fury. And that's true. Tyson Fury will fight somebody. He was outside of that. But once he started getting caught up in all that dumb shit, like, no, man, no. He really started being a bitch to me after he pulled out the rematch and paused up that rematch for 2 fights. That was kind of some hoe shit to me. And then with the cheating, at that point in time, dog, you just can't support the guy. Night Train Lane said Terence Crawford versus Jose Ramirez. Who do you think who would win? Oh, that's why you thought I missed that chat, the super chat. I'm sorry. And I saw it later on, but I went back up. And much like, let me go back, sure I don't miss this. I could not have missed this. Daniel Hunter in the super chat said Terence Crawford and his team is cheating themselves for not fighting top competition. He need a couple big names to put him back in the pound for pound conversation. Yeah. Well, to me, he only needs one. One will do it for me. One will do it for me. Because then I know what he is in welterweight. Because like right now, you know he's the best 135. I knew he was the best 140. I don't know what he is at 147 because he hasn't fought anybody. And he has the WBO belt. Real Song said, you reluctant to claim Errol? No, I'm not. I haven't been reluctant about supporting Errol Spence at all. At all. But I met him. I know his pops. His pops been on the channel. Errol Spence has been on the channel. Dog, I don't have to support him in this shit. Because this shit's make-believe. You know what I mean? This shit's make-believe. Right? I support him. He's the top welterweight. Because he's got 2 of the belts. And he's the guy that's beaten the best competition lately at 147. And if he beats Danny Garcia, then dog, he may be my number 1 pound for pound if he beats Danny Garcia. And the reason why I might move him up, and I'm waiting for that too. That's another reason. I'm not reluctant at all. Not reluctant at all. But I'm going to wait for the right time because I want it to be real. I don't want to say Errol Spence Jr. is the number 1 pound for pound fighter until I'm like he is, right? Like some people might not remember this, but like the situation with Andre Ward, like dude, Andre Ward was number 1. There was no question about it, and he was the number 1 pound for pound fighter for a while, and they took it away from him for just ridiculous reasons, right? Like he has a layoff. Oh well, you're not number 1 pound for pound anymore. Even though ain't nobody beating him and ain't nobody proved that he's better than him because they wanted to put Gennady Golovkin there. It took Andre Ward caught a cold. He would lose number 1 pound for pound to Gennady Golovkin because they wanted to sell Gennady Golovkin as the number 1 pound for pound fighter. Crawford and his team. Oh, okay, I got that. Much love in that super chat to everybody. But not reluctant at all, man. I'm super like. You said, oh, yeah, and the Charlo brothers, my bad. No, I'm not reluctant at all. Not reluctant at all. Super chat. Look, all people need is what they need. All people need is what they need. I have the Charlo. What major there is? I'm not going to ask the question because you're not going to go search for it, but I'm the only person. I'm the only person I know pushing Jermell Charlo as a top 5 pound for pound fighter. I don't know anybody else running around saying that. But me, to tell you the truth, I'm the one that got Gervonta Davis in the top 10 pound for pound. If you put them, if I put them in there, I mean, hey, that's not reluctant. But at the same time, Just because you are a great fighter don't mean necessarily that you're the best fighter in the world. You know what I mean? I don't have Rigondeaux there. I could put Rigondeaux in there. I feel like putting Rigondeaux in there sometimes. But I give the edge to Gervonta Davis. Because I'm like, well, Rigondeaux's older. Gervonta Davis is, Gervonta Davis is knocking people out. He has a great skill set. So, I'll give Gervonta Davis the edge for my pound-for-pound list over Guillermo Rigondeaux. Even though, really, truth be told, there's no real reason not to have Guillermo Rigondeaux in there. He lost to Lomachenko. And now Lomachenko's fighting 3 weight classes above him, So that's my take on it. Hold on one second. All righty. You know what I mean? Yeah, David Wessler goes hard, man. That's a Bud fan because Bud's getting that ass whooping. It's all right though, Damon. Oh, I need to get over here so I can see some haters, dog. I need a troll. Because that's a treat to be in the troll. There's a treat to having trolls. You get to have a good, but I don't see anybody. Did everybody get kicked out? Yeah, exactly. Rob Cruz said Reed had to move up to fight Loma. Exactly. Exactly. I gotta have a drink of water. I gotta take a bite of some food. So I'm gonna talk off camera. I'm gonna talk off camera for a second. Give me 1 second. Caleb Phillips said Gary Russell should be ranked higher than Tank. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't mind. Either way. Dude, Gary Russell's a beast, man. Why doesn't Gervonta Davis get all the slack Bud gets? Who has he fought? Oh. Who has he fought? He fought Jose Pedraza. And he fought Yuriorkis Gamboa. That's who he fought. Those are the best people he fought. But he ain't out here saying he ain't gonna fight nobody. Okay? The slack if Bud wasn't out here affirming that he ain't fighting nobody, he wouldn't be getting this slack. See, it's kind of like the saying, I'm going to alter a phrase I'm sure you heard. It is better that somebody thinks you're a duck. It's better for you to keep your mouth shut and have people think you're ducking than to open your mouth and prove them right. Got that? Because there's that saying, it's better to keep your mouth shut and have people think you're stupid than to open your mouth and prove them right. Okay? Bud, everybody thought Bud was ducking, and then Bud opened his mouth repeatedly and proved it. Nobody has to wonder whether or not Bud is ducking people. Bud told you he doesn't want to fight him. See, you can think that Errol Spence Jr. doesn't want to fight Bud. You could think that, right? You could think it. But you're going to have to think it. Because he never said it. He never said, I'm not going to fight Bud. What did he say? I'm going to fight Bud. So since you guys are Bud fans, right? You can't say to any Errol Spence Jr. fans in your debates that you have that Errol said he would not fight Bud. The most you have is that Errol said, I'm going to clean up the rest of the belts, and then I'm going to fight you. That's all you can say. But with Bud, you can say that Bud is ducking Thurman because Bud said he doesn't want to fight him. That's a duck. if a former world champion, because he's not just a guy that doesn't have a belt. Let's remember this, because there's a saying: once a champion, always a champion. Isn't there? Keith Thurman's a champion. He's a former champion. So who says that former champions, former unified champions in your weight class don't deserve fights? That shit is ridiculous. Keith Thurman is a former WBC and the former WBA champion. How in the world can he not deserve a fight? You never held 2 belts in welterweight. He did. You got the WBO off Jeff Horn. So what are you talking about? That's out of Bud's mouth, dog. That's not out of my mouth, man. That's out of Bud's mouth. Oh, I said Jose Pedraza. I listen to y'all. I listen to y'all. Listen to me for a second. I gotta. Bud lied and never sent Ugas a contract. I don't know about that. Hold on one second. Try not to cough and stuff all in the mic and all that. Anyway, man, didn't nobody force Bud? No. Bert said, Fannon, I'm from Detroit. You think if Bud moved up and fought Tony Harrison and win, where you think that would put Bud at 147? It would put him at 154. But it would be a good fight, yeah. If for the pound for pound, yes. Fight Tony Harrison, beat Tony Harrison. That's a good look. Because Tony Harrison is a former champion at 154 that's not washed up. Not a washed up former champion, right? A guy that was just walked into the ring a champion in his last fight. Look, man. So that's the answer. That's the prolonged answer to that question. Why doesn't Gervonta Davis get all the slack Bud gets? Because nobody's saying that Terence Crawford is number 1 pound for pound, and Gervonta Davis is not out there turning down fights. Okay, he's not out there turning down fights. Bud is, and it's what it is. Because there's another reason. There's another very practical reason. Excuse me. There's another very practical reason that he doesn't get the heat. Because Gervonta, there's nobody out there that Gervonta Davis fans, that Gervonta Davis is talking a lot of shit to. They got a big fan base. You know what I mean? A lot of this shit has to do with the fact that Bud said everybody in the PBC was ducking. You can't have Tim Bradley out there talking shit like that and have it not bounce back at you. That's only fair, dog. That's only fair. Only fair. And you know it is. So let's not get, let's not act like we don't know kind of what the deal is here, man. There's a little Dillian Whiteness going on here, dog. Real Sausage said, and Bud lowballed Kell Brook. If that report is true, much love in that super chat. If that is true, it's strong. If the Real Sausage, if that is true, the 1.5, yes, that's a duck. He's giving him an offer that he knows he's going to turn down. He's given an offer that he expects the guy to turn down. See what I mean? That's a duck. That's a duck. If you want the fight, you're going to offer him something you think that he's going to take, but the low end of what you think he's going to take. You don't offer somebody less than you think that they're going to take. You offer, because there is the low-high thing, but there's a limit to the whole low-high negotiation thing. There's a limit to that. If you start too low, you risk insulting the person and having them just walk off. Like, you're fucking crazy. You're tripping. You know what I mean? Like, you can't start a negotiation with a guy that makes $500,000 a year by offering him a $50,000 job. Because right there, it's like you invited me to lunch to sit down here and offer me $50,000 and I make $500 doing the same thing. They'll be like, they'll leave. You're not gonna then negotiate all the way up to $550,000, right? As soon as you offer them $50,000 and you say, and the guy's like, no, and then what you're gonna say, well, how much do you want? The motherfucker right there will be like, dog, I don't even know, dog. That motherfucker will think so low of you. Like, what the fuck are you doing? No, there is no one that I would take to work for you. Okay? Because obviously you don't have the money or you're incompetent. Like, you either tried to insult me or you're incompetent because you don't know what the value of this is. Somebody might just walk away from you off that. So when I see somebody's an experienced negotiator, like Bob Arum gives somebody at one point something that is basically the same that he made for his last fight, fighting nobody, the bare minimum, the bare acceptable minimum that wouldn't just obviously on his face be crazy. But something you know the guy's not, no. If he would have came in and he would have said 2.5, that'd be different. Because he made one plus 60% of the pay-per-view on his last fight. One, and I don't know how much his pay-per-view did, but gee, he might have made $500,000 off of pay-per-view for his fight. If he did that, an extra $500,000 plus, the gate and all that, why would he go all the way across the country to fight for that? You know that he's not going to do it. You know that he's not going to do it. You didn't think that was within his zone. Because when you're negotiating with people, you have an idea about what you think that they want, right? Like, I know that it's going to be, he got 1.5. It's a public record. I could find it, right? So, or BFTB could find it, rather. And I didn't find it. BFTB found it. So, why would they do that? You know what I mean? Because you don't really want the fight. And the guy knows, this is just going to be a ridiculously difficult negotiation. And Bob Arum does the other thing. He does the other type. He does the exact opposite when he doesn't want to negotiate with people that he thinks really want the fight. They didn't really want the fight. He'll say some shit like, when you can't lowball him, right? Like Danny Garcia, like Keith Thurman, you'll say, he just wants too much, right? But no negotiation? Nah, man, you didn't want that fight. That's a duck. Mr. Mont, much love in that super set. Andre Rozier said he thinks Jermell lost his fight to Harrison due to his behavior. His personality bothers people and affected judging. Mr. Mont, much love in that super chat. Well, that's an interesting discussion, man. So let's go into that. I got to go into a little bit of depth on that one there, Mr. Mont, and because I think that you're 100% correct. Because that's just how life is, generally speaking. If somebody doesn't like you, they're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt because they want you to lose. If you're being antagonistic with somebody, the natural reaction to somebody pushing against you is to push back. That's just physics. You know what I mean? Like, that's just depending on what you're, shout out to my man, Gregory Wyatt in the Gregory X. Is gravity like the fort? Like lost my train of thought, man. But no, man, your personality, dog. If you are abrasive with people, their natural reaction is to push back against you, right? It's to defend themselves, and then if they feel like they have to defend themselves, if they feel like they're agitated, then they're going to lash out at you, and people will pencil whip you, especially people that can't beat you up physically. They'll pencil whip you. And who can pencil whip you better than the judges? A judge can pencil whip you for sure because they can make you lose on their card because they don't like you. They're human. And if it's real close and they like the other person, dog, there you go. But of course, Jermell has, of course. Now I can't say that happened with the Tony Harrison fight. But it wouldn't surprise me at all that his personality could throw somebody off to the extent that it might affect their behavior and affect their thinking. Because impressions affect other people's thinking, and you can't help but make the impression. You know what I mean? You can't help. You never know when the first, like this channel, right? Like, you never know when the first time somebody's going to listen to the channel is, and what impression that they're going to get, and that could be that can make a lasting impression on people, and have made lasting impressions on people. So, you know, you got to be really careful. You got to be really careful with how you act in that way. You know what I mean? Much love in that super chat. Much love in that super chat, man. Again, Jamel definitely has Damon Wester, we're not into fantasy now. Okay, this is not Showtime at the Apollo. This is not, you know, this is not Comedy Central. It's not what it is, dog. It's a serious boxing conversation, man. Errol Spence Jr. has never turned down Manny. That is ridiculous. That is concocted, dog. That is concocted. Excuse me, I sip this water. My raggedy ass cup. So y'all can see this raggedy cup. I got a bad mouth because of my raggedy cup. I'm hiding my raggedy cup. But I will show you my raggedy cup right now. Come on, man. No, he didn't. Manny Pacquiao's never made a fight offer to Errol Spence Jr. Never. Never. Not happened. Has not happened. Daniel Hunter said, and a low ball deal, period. It's an insult to go to a guy who is better than anyone's on Crawford's resume. Yeah. That's just a ridiculous offer. You're not serious about it. Now, the best defense could be to that, right? Just to see, because sometimes I feel like because Bud has left you guys no argument whatsoever, like this is for you, David Wester. I'll help you out, okay? What you could say is, well, the reason it's not a low ball offer, it's that we're in a pandemic. It's in a pandemic. And there can't be an audience. So he's got to get 1.5 because, you know, that's how much the fight is worth. Could say that. However, if the fight is in the UK against Kell Brook in the afternoon, you're going to get rights from both the UK, Sky Sports, and ESPN. So the pool of revenue for the fight goes up because it's those two networks are involved. Because the fight could actually be pay-per-view in the UK. Couldn't it? To be considered. I'm sure Anthony Joshua's fight is going to be pay-per-view. Kell Brook versus Terence Crawford could be pay-per-view in the UK. Because you know why? Because Kell Brook's last fight was pay-per-view. He got 60% of the pay-per-view. No, dog. You're going to lowball a guy that you could go fight in the UK on pay-per-view? Just seems like you really don't want the fight to me. At least from the very far outside looking in. The lowball offer of it, coupled with the fact that that is a pay-per-view fight in the UK. So really, you could give him a bigger guarantee and take a bigger part of the pay-per-view. Unless that's what they're saying. It's like the 1.5 plus all of the pay-per-view in the UK. Now, if that was part of the bargain, Kell Brook might consider that. If he gets all of the pay-per-view. But I didn't hear anything about, yes, and we also offered him a percentage of the pay-per-view. And I know that Bob Arum has been asked about it. So, no, once again, it looks like an argument. It looks like from the outside looking in, if it's true, what we're hearing is true. Because, again, I got to say that. If it's true, because we don't know for sure if it's true. It seems to me that that's a lowball offer. And he doesn't really want the fight. especially if they don't have a real negotiation about it. You know what I mean? My man AJ Hollowell in that super chat, he said, why don't Bud just retire if he doesn't want to fight? Too used to these silk sheets, like Marvin Hagler said. Hey, man, he wants that big payday, dog. He wants to fight. He just wants the money more than he wants to fight. Well, I think it's a combination of two things. Because it is Top Rank does have something to do with it, for sure. You know what I mean? So there's a degree of him living, like there's an extra difficulty in making the fight because Bob Arum is involved in it. That is, much love in that super chat, by the way. You know what I mean? There is definitely something to the fact that he signed with Bob Arum. But the language that he uses with Gary Russell Jr. and oh man, he's looking terrible with Gary Russell Jr. I got to get on to that, dog. He's looking terrible against Gary Russell Jr. Man. John Page said, Gary Russell, there it goes. Gary Russell Jr. stops Bud's suspect chin. That's why he ducking. Ah, man. Look, man. I think he's ducking that shit going the distance. I think he's ducking it going the distance. His dog, you can have a problem with a smaller fighter, man. That dude can. Dude, it ain't going to be easy money just to knock out Gary Russell Jr., man. Because it's not that easy to hit him. You know what I'm saying? He's got a big speed advantage. Big speed advantage over Terence. He's got a height disadvantage, but that comes into play. That comes into play when he's trying to come forward. But unquiet as kept, Gary Russell got a nice inside game. Got a nice inside game. So Gary Russell Jr., in order to win, will have to get on the inside with Terence Crawford. He can't beat him out. He can't beat him outside. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. And dude, Gary Russell Jr. is a great fighter, man. A great fighter. Oh, Gary Russell Jr. is killing him, dog. Gary Russell Jr. got him looking real bad. Dog, real bad. Real bad. And there ain't any way around it, dog. The guys are looking real bad. Man, if you don't want to fight a 5'5", 126-pound guy that is clowning you like that in the boxing ring, like you don't actively act like you want to fight, well, you know, it's a catch-22 for him. Like, I wouldn't step away. I wouldn't step away from a major fight for Gary Russell Jr. That would be unrealistic to ask him. Like it wouldn't be like, hey, man, he's fighting Terence Crawford next or he's fighting Gary Russell Jr., right? If it's that scenario, then, of course, fight Errol Spence Jr. I don't think anybody would make an argument that Terence Crawford needs to fight Gary Russell Jr. over Errol Spence Jr. or over Manny Pacquiao, right? That's definitely not the case. What the case is that, and it's not even the case that I'd rather see Gary Russell Jr. fight Gary Russell Jr. over Sean Porter or Ray Robinson or Keith Thurman or Jaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, maybe even Josito Lopez. Maybe. However, I would rather see him fight Gary Russell Jr. than Amir Khan. I'd rather see him fight him than somebody that just, because at least it does something for Gary Russell Jr. You know what I mean? At least there's an outside chance that if he loses, something spectacular can happen in boxing. You know what I mean? Like, people could be shitting on the fight, be like, damn, I'm not watching the fight because it's Gary Russell Jr. He's too small. Who is this little midgety dude? Who's this little midgety dude up in here asking, trying to fight Bud? I'm not gonna watch it. And then you go to sleep, and then you wake up, and they'd be like, Terence Crawford edges Gary Russell Jr. to retain the WBO 147-pound title. One of them titles. Bud edges Gary Russell Jr. in an unexpectedly competitive fight between the much larger Terence Bud Crawford and Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr., although Terence Crawford had Gary Russell Jr. stunned on a couple occasions in the fight, Gary Russell Jr.'s effective footwork evaded many of the onslaughts and allowed him to score much more frequently on the inside than boxing experts have come to expect. You know what I mean? Some shit like that. Like some shit like that. You be reading that shit the next day like, what? Let me go on. Oh, man, let me check this out on YouTube. I can't believe Gary went 12 with Terence, dog. Terence got exposed, man. Terence got exposed, nigga. You supposed to knock that dude out. You supposed to knock that dude out and, you're supposed to knock him out in 20 seconds, man. You know what I mean? You're supposed to knock him out in 20 seconds. That shit was supposed to, but you went the distance with him, dog. Gary, man, Gary's a rough-ass dude. Gary's a rough-ass dude. Hey, dog, monster, you got to fight a monster. You got to fight a monster. Yeah, and then moves on like that for Gary. It might happen, dog. It's boxing. It's boxing. You never expect. I didn't expect it with Manny because I wasn't really looking at Manny like that when he fought Oscar De La Hoya. So he was going to be too small. He wasn't. Granted, De La Hoya was drained, probably already under the influence on a regular basis of alcohol and, that nose candy, and it already, been slapped up, nowhere near prime, but you get my point. It can happen. It can happen. It's not something that is out of, just impossible to take place. Steve J said it's ridiculous because Bud doesn't sell, period. It's not a debate, it's fact. He doesn't sell. So how can he come to the table asking for money? He doesn't generate. 60-40 is generous for Bud. Well, while we're having fun, because I am having a lot of fun on this live stream. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Again, we're going to making a few changes to OG Boxing Talk. And when they're all set and ready to go, we'll probably be back next week, if not the week after that. But this one is a lot of fun, man. Thank you guys so much. Reading your super chats and reading your comments is a blast. Absolute blast, man. Gary should fight Jose Ramirez. Why? Why should he fight Jose Ramirez? Why would Jose Ramirez fight him if Terence Crawford's not going to fight him? All that would make is let me tell you something. Latch Puma skills. What you said right here in an effort to be a smart ass is pretty funny because I wish Gary Russell Jr. would fight Jose Ramirez. But if it happened, Terence Crawford would be looking like the biggest bitch on the planet if the fight happened. Shit. Terence Crawford better hope Gary Russell Jr. don't fight Jose Ramirez because if he does, Terence Crawford's just a punk, okay? Because he's doing something. Jose Ramirez would be showing him up. He'd be showing him up. Showing him up and missing a lot of punches. But he'd be showing him up. Only chance, size is the only thing that gets Jose Ramirez beating Gary Russell Jr. But I think that he would do it, obviously. Size and strength, big size and strength advantages. Time Annie up said, could Gary hurt Crawford just as Gamboa did? I'm not too confident about that. Much love in the super chat. I'm not too confident about that. I will say, however, though, that if Gary Russell Jr. can be effective defensively, I think he can go the distance. That's what I think. I think he just has to get close to Terence Crawford. If he can get close to Terence Crawford, he's got a much better chance. If he's out and can't get on the inside of Terence Crawford, I think that'll be a problem. But it's because he can score. I don't think he can hurt him because Gary just doesn't really hit that. He's a small guy. He doesn't really hit that hard. You know what I mean? He doesn't punch like that. So I don't think so. He doesn't hit like Gamboa, and he's definitely not going to hit like a 147-pound, or actually when he's fighting, probably 155-pound Egas Calvinakis. So I think the only thing that Gary Russell Jr. might be able to do in that fight is go the distance and make some rounds competitive if he can find a way to consistently stay in close to Terence Crawford. And Terence Crawford really can't get a clean shot off on him, which is possible with a little fighter like that. He's not the easiest guy to hit. Like people talk about Guillermo Rigondeaux and Vasily Lomachenko. Dude, Vasily Lomachenko and Guillermo Rigondeaux. Dude, Vasily Lomachenko had a lot of problems getting his hands on Guillermo Rigondeaux. That was when did he stop? After the 5th round? It was 5 rounds, dude, and Lomachenko was going at him from the beginning. And he never really was able to put significant amount of punishment on Guillermo Rigondeaux. Now, Guillermo Rigondeaux didn't really have the strength, and I don't think he was fresh or fast enough really still to really cleanly get his hands on Lomachenko, because there was also the age difference between the two of them. You know what I mean? They're both, there wasn't just a size difference. There's also a difference in as far as their age. Like there's like a 7 or 8 year age difference between the two. But defensively, Guillermo Rigondeaux made it hard to really get anything off on him. You know what I mean? So Gary Russell Jr. is a smaller fighter, especially if he's able to get inside and take away the length advantage from Terence Crawford. I definitely think that he could do, he could do some stuff. If he could get in there, but I just don't think that he's going to be able to beat him, because I think that's going to be very difficult for him to do. Now as far as him fighting a taller guy, like the benefit for Gary Russell, and I think what Gary Russell Jr. is thinking is that for Gary Russell Jr., like length and height really don't matter that much, because everybody Gary Russell Jr. fights is taller than him and longer than him. So, and it's been that way, I'm sure, his whole life. So I don't think that he thinks that fighting that because of Terence Crawford's length or height, that would be the problem. And skill-wise, there's nothing really to say that there's a significant difference between the two of them. I don't think that there is a significant skill difference between the two of them. The whole argument is based off really just strength. It's the strength disadvantage that's the problem. And there's going to be a significant strength disadvantage. Right? But it might be, but Gary Russell Jr. at the same time is very strong. He just doesn't hit particularly hard. So I don't think he really has anything that's going to, keep Terence Crawford's respect. You know what I mean? But don't let Terence Crawford just sneak up and just go all, ballistic and shit and just act like, go all to the, throw defense. If Terence Crawford doesn't just throw defensive responsibility all to the wind, because you never know. It only takes 5 pounds of pressure to catch you in the right spot. And that little dude knows how to punch. You know what I mean? Drink More Water said Tyson Fury didn't sell jack shit, but he and Wilder coming together did. Dog, let me tell you, man. Tyson Fury, somebody said about Tyson Fury? Dude, Tyson, you know what Tyson Fury does by himself. There's a calculation, man, on that. Drink More Water. There's a way that you know what he does. Look at his numbers when he doesn't fight Deontay Wilder. And that will tell you. And then you look at what Deontay Wilder did without Tyson Fury. In the first Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight, let's look at Deontay Wilder first. Oh, I'll look at it from Tyson Fury. No, let's look at Deontay Wilder first, then look at Tyson Fury on that Drink More Water. And I'm doing this because I'm very happy to be able to agree with you in the middle of us doing this thing with Bud. Deontay Wilder went into a pay-per-view with Tyson Fury. That was both their first pay-per-view, right? Their first pay-per-view. That pay-per-view did like 350,000 pay-per-view buys. So that was the benchmark, the first benchmark for both of them. Before that, the only way you could really judge before that fight was what Tyson Fury did in his fights and what Deontay Wilder did in his fights. Tyson Fury's 2 fights before he fought Deontay Wilder the first time were on Showtime. YouTube page. Showtime's YouTube page. The videos on Showtime's YouTube page were somewhere around 60,000 people. Watched him fight Pineda and Safiri on on Showtime's YouTube channel. Yes, folks, he fought on a card similar to, he did worse numbers on YouTube than Jake Paul and KSI, or Logan Paul and KSI. Okay? They played second fiddle to 2 YouTube dudes fighting. So that ain't shit. Deontay Wilder, on the other hand, had millions of people in the United States watching him in all of his fights on Showtime. The number one guy on Showtime with 1.2, 1.3 million people watching him on Showtime. For years. For at least 7 title defenses. With Bermain Stavern, he did over 1 million. With Gerald Washington, he did over 1 million. He did millions. So who do you think would get credit for the pay-per-views? The guy from the United States who has millions of people watching him on the network that the fight aired on, or a guy that was fighting on the YouTube channel for the network? The guy that did millions of views on regular Showtime, or the guy that did 100,000 views between 2 fights on YouTube? I've got videos my damn self that have more viewers than his fights did. So how in the fuck would you give him credit for the pay-per-view? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The notion is ridiculous. Guhowever, let's examine what happened after that, in case I'm just wrong. Because that's what I said when you guys tried that shit before. Right? Like, come on, man. This dude, Tyson Fury came to the United States, fought Steve Cunningham and and they gave him the first time he showed up, dude. They put this guy, I do believe, on NBC. Tyson Fury came and got on NBC or ABC, one of those channels. He was on the first time. Do you know how rare it is for these guys to get network shots? That's how they tried to bring in Tyson Fury the first time. Brought him in. He had on free-to-air TV, he had 1.2 million. When guys but to compare the difference, Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia on the same network did like 4.5 million. So Tyson Fury did 1/4 of Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, or maybe it was Sean Porter, but it was one of those fights. Leonard Bundu versus Errol Spence did 6. Tyson Fury did 1 and got dropped by a cruiserweight. He failed the first time he came to the United States, lest we forget. His goal had been to the United States, but he flopped the first time he came. And not his ratings flopped, and he flopped on his ass when Steve Cunningham put him on his ass. And he had to cheat to win. Not a good fucking look. Then he comes back to the United States, and then what? Let's do the second. What are the other United States fights that Tyson Fury fought? Tyson Fury fought that were not Deontay Wilder. Tom Schwartz and Otto Wallen on ESPN Plus, and they sold 1,500 tickets. 1,500 tickets. Or did they sell 3,000? I think it was 3,000 people there because it was a small deal, and they sold 1,500 tickets. And that was saved for both fights. He's some megastar. How does that happen? He's not doing Devin Haney numbers without Deontay Wilder. But what did Deontay Wilder do during the same time? Had a pay-per-view against Luis Ortiz. Right? Well, first he had a fight against Dominic Breazeale on regular Showtime. And what did he do? Almost 1 million with like 20. How quick did he get knocked out? He got knocked out like 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes into the first round, and they still got to 1 million. They hadn't even peaked yet. His fights don't peak until the second and the third round as people come in and like, oh, I missed the first couple rounds. So it goes up. But it never even had a chance to go up because he knocked him out that quick, and he still did 1 million. But Siffy Safiri and Otto Wallen's fights are on ESPN Plus, so nobody watched. Very few people watched them. And they only sold 1,500 tickets. But yet, and they were not spectacular knockouts. Deontay Wilder fought Dominic Breazeale, and then he fought a pay-per-view that did between 250,000 and 300,000. According to Bob Arum, did closer to 300,000, is what Bob Arum said. So, how in the world did the fight... Now, the Deontay Wilder fight versus Tyson Fury fight then did somewhere around 600,000 or 800,000. I don't know. I think they said 800,000. Why would you think Tyson Fury would be the reason? And not Deontay Wilder? It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous notion. Ridiculous notion. Tyson Fury's part of the fight doing better for sure. But we will see whether or not, or maybe we'll see, whether or not Tyson Fury can do anything in the United States without Deontay Wilder. We know Deontay Wilder can do stuff in the United States without Tyson Fury. But the case has not been proven for Tyson Fury. Because without Deontay Wilder in the United States, he flopped every time without Deontay Wilder. And nobody, not any American fans really went to the Deontay Wilder fight. They pumped in a bunch of people from the UK, just like Ricky Hatton, where they're like, we're just going to make a big vacation out of it. And a bunch of people from the UK come to Vegas to gamble and make it like a UK, like a mini UK concert located in Las Vegas, taking place over the course of a couple days with the weigh-in and stuff like that. They might even be having special programming and events happening outside the fight. Hey, man, somebody join the channel, man. Thank you. Hamad S., new member. Thank you so much, Hamad, for joining the chat, man. Thank you. And much love in that super chat, man. Thank you so much. Fury is never selling in the U.S. without Deontay, but when two fighters come together, the numbers will do well. Absolutely. So you need somebody. That's what it is. You need somebody. And it'll be interesting if he fights in the UK to see how his numbers do in the UK. It'll be interesting because I don't think it doesn't really feel like he's got a real big fan base. It just feels like, it really feels like he has like people that are really marketing heavily for him and trying to grow his fan base, but doesn't really feel like he has a fan base. You know what I mean? Yep, Bumpy Thompson, a dance partner. No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it. Oh, look, man, I ain't checked. Hey, look, we got 519 people in the chat. Let me hit this. Hey, when we get to 550, can we get to 550? Because I know there's people in here that were not in here when this chat started. And I'm assuming, because I'm seeing people in here who weren't commenting any either. What's TBE say? What does this dude say? Let me see what TBE said. Dang, I don't have any good. Y'all don't give me nothing to eat. No food for me, man. I don't see what he said, man. Dang, that sucks. I wanted to see what dude said before he got blocked. See why he got blocked. Ray Rayner said, I miss boxing. I used to fight myself. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, boxing is really fun, dude. Really, really fun. Hold on 1 second. Y'all, give me 1 second. We are going to go a little longer, man, because I don't give a shit. I got nothing to do today. I'm not making videos. I'm just talking boxing. So in the next section, man, we're just going to go through, and I'm going to answer you guys' questions. If there's anything else you guys really want to talk about, know what I mean? But I got to do one thing real quick. I got to make sure that I didn't miss any super chats. Because I did get to run in my mouth for sure. Okay, I don't think time to end here. Oh, could Gary hurt Crawford just? Oh, is that the first one or is that the last one? Oh, yeah, I did miss some. Jesus. Oh, no. What? No. I didn't miss anything. The last one. Okay, cool. I am up to date. Last, it's just been a while. Cool. Got you. If anybody can't leave a super chat, let me know. Not a big deal, but if you can't leave it, just tell me you can't leave it. Because sometimes super chats don't come through. If that's the case, Blue Blood said he can't leave super chats on my channel. So maybe there's somebody else that's the case. But if that's the case, then just leave me your comment and just say, hey, I would do a super chat, but I can't leave the comment. And I will put the comment up there like it's a super chat. It doesn't really, it's all good. I really appreciate you guys' support. Fury got no organic fan base outside of the UK. His newly acquired fans are Wilder haters. Oh, yeah, for sure. Rob Sportsman Lee said, Fox is beating everybody with their fight cards. Yeah, I think Top Rank might have got him last night, though. I think Top Rank might have got him last night, in all fairness. I thought that was a pretty good one. Well, just the fight. I thought the Postal fight was the best fight of the night. Postal versus what's his name? Ramirez. I think that's like the best. I think that was the best. I think that was the best fight of the evening. All things considered. So look, let me get some questions, man. Let's get some questions. If you just came to the chat, man, just leave me a question. We'll go through some questions for a little while before we wrap it up. We've had fun. It's Sunday. I don't think anybody's going on. I don't think anybody goes on after me. Somebody let me know if there's somebody that's going on. Because usually I go to around this time, or we go to this around this time. Salute for $9. What's going on? Big Dose 513 in the building. What's good, man? Mike 202 said Lara had a cake. Is that a cake to fight, or what is that? A tin can, tuna can, something like that? What's going on? I Will. you are? Okay, what's up? That's what's up. That's cool. Give me like another 15. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, I didn't know. Best fighter at super middleweight, 168. Best fighter is super middleweight, 168. Kayla, David Benavidez. For me. David Benavidez. That's who I think is the best. There's a difference. Yeah, and I know he got stripped, but, you know, just kind of like Jose. And here's another thing, kind of like Ramirez. I don't think the fact that Ramirez fought like that against Postal could have had everything to do with the fact that there was no crowd there. And he's not used to fighting with no crowd, to root him on or, and all of that stuff. And there's been a big layoff. So, like, I don't know how much, you know what I mean? So do I think Ramirez beats Regis? I think that's a 50-50 fight. It depends on how Regis fights. If Regis has a 1-2, yeah, I think he can beat him. I think Regis can beat him. You know what I mean? If you need a crowded box, dude, somebody said that last night. Somebody was like, man, this shit just didn't feel right to me. There was no crowd. Somebody said that. Somebody said that about their performance. They won the fight, but they were like, nah, it's like, they were like, I didn't like it. I really couldn't get into it. It's like more like sparring. Who said that? Ramirez. I think Jose Ramirez said that. He's like, it felt more like sparring. It's like, nah, dog, it ain't sparring, homie. Okay? It ain't sparring, homie. It ain't sparring, so get your head right on it. You know what I mean? Velcano said, salute Fannon. I love the work you're putting in. I'm not able to send a super chat. Yeah, okay, cool. Let me get that for you then. Let me put that up there. Volcano said, hey, salute Fannon. I love the work you're putting in. I'm not able to send a super chat. All good, man. Thank you so much, man. That works, dude. And that works too if you can't afford to put a super chat in. Don't say that. I'm not saying that's what you're saying. But if you can't put a super chat in, that's fine. You can say the same thing. Just, say, hey, man, I'll catch you later on the super chat. I'll catch you next month on the super chat. That's all good. We run it like that old school chat. Did you hit the like button though? Because I got 539 likes, man, and I know there's a whole bunch of people. That would like that. Yeah, I can't. I lost my fucking chain of thought. I ain't gonna fucking pretend. But I appreciate you, man. So yeah, they want to tear Wilder apart because they hate him so much, but it's gonna make Wilder even richer. Yep. Hey man, much love in that super chat. Hey, that's all right, good man. That's what's up. Much love in that super chat, man. Dog, it's all right. It's all good. And I didn't mean that about you, Velcano. That wasn't to you. I'm just saying that because shit, dog, we in the middle of sound like we in the middle of a depression. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Crowd is like a drug. Some fighters get that motivation, even from the booze. Yeah, I can imagine, man. But when you are lower level fighters, that's what you got to do. It's probably like more like a club fight. You got to find your motivation. But I do think that. So I really think that time Andy up said, I love the crowd. Yeah, man. Now, anyway, there was somebody that asked me questions, and I said I would ask these questions. I'm gonna answer 5 questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So, but I'm gonna get 5 questions, okay? Because I'm enjoying myself today, man. Man, this feels to me. Fannon, who's the 20 Bosals that gave it a thumbs down? Oh, they love me. Thumbs down ain't nothing but a thumbs up turned on its head. That's all that is. That's how I take it. Thumbs down ain't nothing but a thumbs up in reverse. You know what I mean? Rob Bell in that super chat. Much love in that super chat, man. Thank you so much, man, for the support, dog. Oh, let me hit this gong for y'all too. Yes, sir. It's all it is. It's just all it is a thumbs up, turn down, dog. Thumbs up, turn down. Same thing. I'll take it, dog. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So I missed some questions. So from Jupiter B, it says, okay, right after Junior Kojo said, good analogy, Fannon. Right after that, let's get I'm gonna get the questions. So I'm gonna take 5 questions. Please make them good. 5 questions. And I will do it. So they watching. Everybody's watching. Oh, shit. Everybody watching. Hold on 1 second while I wait for the question. Tank versus Santa Cruz. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm gonna answer the Tank Santa Cruz question. Give me a second. I gotta get some water. I'm back. Sorry about that. All right. Oh, shit. Oh, dog, my bad. All right, so Crawford versus Boots. I take hey, drink more water. Said I didn't drink your water. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I know I'm going long today, but I just really feel like going long today, man. All right, I got my channel got big. I used to be able to do this. Never do it because I try to make sure that I don't go over people and don't do all that stuff. You know, really did. Instead of making 4 videos today, I just wanted to chop it up with y'all. And this is fun. I appreciate you guys for supporting me. I really do. But okay, but Bud Crawford versus Tank, dude, I got Crawford right now. There's no reason for me to believe that Ennis can beat him right now, but I think it's a very difficult fight for Bud right now. I think it's a very difficult fight for Bud right now, and I think it'll go to Bud by some sort of decision. Some sort of decision. But at the same time, he could also get shot and lose. He could beat him. He can beat him. I'll put it that way. I think Boots can beat him. He has the ability to beat him. But it won't be easy. Yeah, like Jupiter B said. But it won't be easy. So that's 1. Got you, Dre's finest. Sorry about that, man. What about Tank Teofimo Lopez? Bloody murder. Bloody murder. That's what I cannot see Leo Santa Cruz winning that fight. I can't see it. Because I think he's better than the guys that like the Fonsecas and the Jesus Cuelars and those type of guys. I think he's better than those type of guys. But I don't think he's not so much better than those guys. He's not so much better than them that it's going to help him with Tank. Because those guys are all jokes to Tank. But I think all of those guys could give Leo Santa Cruz a good fight. I don't think they beat Leo Santa Cruz, but quite honestly, Fonseca might be too big for Leo Santa Cruz. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I would pick Loma. I would pick Leo Santa Cruz over some of those guys, but I wouldn't pick him. I'm telling you for sure, I'm not picking Leo Santa Cruz to beat Jose Pedraza. I don't think that this is like a Jose Pedraza level test for Gervonta Davis. And I think the size difference, I think the skill, the speed, and the skill difference is just it's going to be significant. So I can't see him getting it. I can't see him getting it. Stevenson versus Tank. Tank. Until proven otherwise. Tank over Shakur until proven otherwise. Even though Tank really does need to get his act together. I'll tell you that. I think that is true. I think that he is I think he's pushing it with his weight gain. And I'd like to see him more. I'd like to see him better conditioned. Because, seeing fighters with guts, it's kind of like, and Devin Haney did get into him. I did answer the question. Dre's finest. I answered the question. I did answer the question. And I didn't even take that as the 5 questions because it was a question that was there earlier. So I would take Tank over Shakur from what I've seen. But Shakur, to Shakur Stevenson's, to the credit of Shakur Stevenson, though, he has shown me a lot of improvement. A lot of improvement. He's shown me more improvement than Tank has shown me improvement. But that's obvious because, I started watching Shakur Stevenson at an earlier point in his career than I watched Tank. Tank, when I started watching Tank was dang near like a finished product. Oh, Dan the Man said you was on. Oh, Dan. Oh, not Dan the Man, but shout out to Dan the Man. I haven't seen Dan the Man in a long time. D-Man Jr. said you was on delay for 9. Okay. Thanks, man. That makes sense. There are a bunch of people. I take Tank over Shakur right now. Yeah, I would take Tank. I would take Tank over Shakur right now, too. I definitely would. So I took that. I got to see at the end of the chat. So Anthony Holden said okay. So I'm going to wait to the next one. The next question that comes after Anthony Holden. Dre Spy said I didn't say anything. Duh, what do you mean you didn't say nothing? Oh, because no, you look right there. Yeah, you did. See how now Dre Fine is lying. Don't be out here doing no don't do no Eddie Hearn, dog. Don't be out here. I got receipts. That's a receipt. Answer my question. Then you said, okay, cool. Because I know I answered the question. No, I did. Shakur Stevenson's defense is next level. Next level from what? Next level from what? Next level from what? Next level. Oh, Tank and Loma. Let me judge after this Teofimo Lopez fight. I suspect Tank. I think I got Tank. Tank is a very, very good fighter, man. He's a very, very good fighter. Very, very good fighter. And I will. And by the way, go live, IML Will, if you're going live. Go ahead, man. Don't worry about me. People will go over there. IML Will, man. If IML Will's live, man. Anybody feel like going to IML Will, going to IML Will. I'm not going to go long like this every week. If Manny Near Future ends, if Manny Near Future ends up fighting Arrow, Who is going to win and why? Oh, man. Sure. Before I answer that, give me 1 second. Like I said, man, I hate this cup. Give me 1 second. Oh, I said that was before you answered my question. Okay, yeah, we off this. The timing's off. Timing's off. Oh. Ah, dog, he gives interviews. You just gotta come to the LVBC to get the interview, dog. He ain't holding back. Pugmire was mad because Wilder wasn't giving interviews, nor his team. Yeah, dog, it's a wrap. They said what they had to say. And y'all fucked Deontay Wilder over. That's right. I forgot my window was open. My neighbor's here because whatever. Dog. Look, man. Lance Pugmire. I like Lance Pugmire. You know, good dude and all that. But y'all mistreated him, man. You can't expect Deontay Wilder for you just to mistreat people like shit and them not want to continue to talk to you. Y'all didn't defend Deontay Wilder, didn't give him any positive press, didn't call him a warrior for getting in there, none of that. Other people get the towel thrown in on them when they don't quit and they're fighting and all that. Other people get credit for being a warrior and being a long-time reigning champ. But y'all didn't give Deontay Wilder that. You call him an excuse maker and took dumps on him. So why should he? Why should he talk to y'all? Whether or not Lance Pugmire did it or not, dog, but he's not feeding y'all. He understands you eat off what he says. So why should he help you eat? What sense does that make? I wouldn't interview with you either. I got $40 million in my pocket. What the fuck I need to interview with you for? Only thing I'm going to get is bad mouth. No, thank you. I ain't depressed. I ain't depressed. I'm just not going to get depressed fucking with you. Why would I fuck with you? Why? What good do I get out of that? Huh? You got motherfuckers out here telling people that people cheated me. Did you support that at all? Did you treat that like that could be anything serious whatsoever? No, you want to talk to me. This is me acting like I'm Deontay Wilder. You want to talk to Deontay Wilder so that you can tear me down. Why am I going to help you do that? You've already shown what you are. I didn't say anything about that motherfucking helmet. And I'm not going to deny I said something about the helmet to you, because if I do, then people are just going to say I'm lying about what I said. You're just going to say I made an excuse and I'm lying. We know the ways of the trolls, man. So, dude, Deontay Wilder don't owe you shit. Don't owe you shit. And I wouldn't give you shit. Treat your ass like Prince. Be like Prince Rogers Nelson, nigga, for years. Motherfucker won't talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Won't talk to nobody. No, I'm not giving you an interview. Fuck no. For what? I just made $40 million. For what? What you gonna do? Let people know who I am? Get out of here, dog. Hell no. Hell no. Wouldn't talk to you motherfuckers. Never. Never. To help you sell your newspapers? Let me see something. Just a test. Just a test. And let me share my screen while I do this test. Let me share my screen while I do this test. Do-do, do-do, do-do. Give me 1 second. There you go. Let's see here. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to pull it up before. What? We're going to have to abort that one because I don't even see it. Don't even see it. All right, here it is. Got it. All right, so let me share my screen. I will get to this Rock Regal coming up next. And much love in that super chat, but let me just show y'all something real quick since I said I would do it. You should be able to see it. This. See all this? It says Deontay Wilder in News Now. Fury urges Anthony Joshua to face him if Wilder fails. Wilder. Oh, he's trying to skip over Deontay Wilder. So most of the stuff right now is around Deontay Wilder, them skipping out on this Deontay Wilder fight. So why exactly? If you're not going to say anything good to him, you're just going to treat this dude like his fight don't exist. Why in the world would he want to talk to you? Makes zero sense, dog. Rock Regal said, do you think boxing fans should boycott Crawford until he be fair in negotiations and a fight worthy competition? No, I wouldn't boycott him. I mean, it's a fight. I mean, he's a good fighter. I'm going to watch him. But it's just not going to be some situation where I'm going to say it's something that it's not. You know? There's a bunch of fights that are not really, really good fights that I'll support. But I'm not going to tell you that it's not that it's a serious, like it's a great fight, because it's not. I watch mismatches. I've been watching Terence Crawford mismatches. I'll continue to do it. You know what I mean? I'll continue to do it. I'll watch his fights. I don't think a boycott of him is necessary. It's just, I think the more important thing is just acceptance. You know what I mean? Because the boycott, I mean, I'm not a real big one on it's not a big one on that. Because I don't want the guy not to earn a living. All I'm just saying is, come on, man. Don't act like it's Errol Spence Jr. ducking him and Terence Crawford wants all the smoke. J Rod, I'm starting to think you work for the PBC. No, you're not. You're just being a smartass. There's nothing that I've said that would make you think I'm working for the PBC. Nothing whatsoever. That's true tunnel vision without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. But look, I think I got my 5 questions. We've had a good chat. I really appreciate you guys coming. I don't think that I missed. So y'all not going to accept the Brook fight? People accept the Brook fight. People accept the Brook fight. But it's the least acceptable fight. It's the least acceptable fight that they could possibly have. That's my take on that fight. Anyway, I'm not particularly impressed by that fight. I don't think any of you guys are particularly impressed by that fight. So why? You know what I mean? Hold on, I'm sorry. I started doing something I forgot, man. I zoned out. Sorry, my bad. Christopher Howard said, wrench me up. I got to see you a few more times, my man. Got to see you a few more times. And I don't think I'm ever going to see you again because you were probably just blown out here asking for that. But yeah, I don't mind that fight. I think it's a good fight. But look, man, let me get up out of here, man. It's been a wonderful time, man. We did, 3.5 hours, man. I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for talking to me. I wanted to get a long one in. I got a long one in. I'll check you guys out tomorrow. If you guys go check out another live stream. With that, I'm out. Holler at your boy. Peace.